QT Super Glizzy.
Hey, chill, bro. Hey, welcome back to the To Be Fair Show. I am your host, Johnny P.
Oh, yeah, real.
It's Q.
And we back. We back. This the 2-year anniversary show.
Yes,
the
sir.
boys been locked in. We want to thank all of y'all for tuning in over the past 2 years. All the comments, the likes, subscribing, just rocking with us. Before we get started, I want to tell everybody to tap in on all socials at the To Be Fair Show. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. Got another good one lined up.
Merch alert.
Merch
we
alert.
all got different shirts on today.
This nigga Johnny always want to be like
we
me.
got different.
Y'all doing colorways.
We got chill, bro.
Hey, make sure. I guess the quick
housekeeping. Why you got on leopard printed socks?
Because I'm like that. Why you got on whatever?
Y'all looking like twins today. I like that for y'all.
I like your mom for me.
Hey, this man own one, but let's hop into it. For y'all boys get into it, but I'm gonna get this dub real quick.
Yeah.
Dub.
Johnny, he gonna stick to whatever he throw out the first
I just
time.
figured because y'all gonna change.
I think you smart.
But I'm gonna go last. I'm gonna let you go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna make you go first.
No, you gonna let me go first.
And I'm gonna let Q go second.
I like it.
Whatever, bro. Cue me up, Tone. Let me see where we're gonna go.
Look at this, bro. Get your boy out the chat.
I want to fucking see.
Just look at your phone. You. If you look at the,
I ain't even click on it because I knew it was foolishness.
Yeah. But as we have a little bit of dead air, again, merch alert. Tap into the chat if you are interested in actually buying merch. Again, super chats are available. Any super chat above $50, we will be sending out a t-shirt. So we'll need to get your size, et cetera. But again,
he see it. Oh yeah, comment below, tap into the chat. Get active.
Who we gonna go first, bro? Tone, just out of the last, let me see, scroll up a little bit. We can start. Yeah, just click that one right there. Go back down.
Which one?
The last one on there right now. I think that's
this one.
Yeah.
Not to tell her anything. That's the whole point. You don't have to tell her nothing. So if I see her doing something, you say, you're dealing with me. You mess with me, I mess with you. You don't mess with my kids. Okay, that's not the relationship we got. You hear from me. Don't say shit. She got that. You ain't gonna say shit to her. You ain't gonna say nothing to her. I just trying to hear daddy. I just. What are you talking about? You ain't trying to get it in. Don't tell her nothing yet. I was trying to get her not to disrespect you. You told me to do something. I don't have you to come in here to talk to them. I'm not asking for them to have a father figure. That's not what I'm asking. I'm not trying to be no father figure. What? That's how I choose. I already told him that. Your daddy already know what's going on. Oh, now you gonna listen to that bust on the phone. Listen, what the hell you mean a bust of ass? My baby daddy. What are you talking about? He's still in her life. He's I'm not a single mother. I got somebody else take care of her. Her dad. Really? I didn't never tell you that you had to step in to be her father. I'm not trying to be her father. Okay, but then no, because I didn't ask you. I was on the phone, but he's gonna butt in. Hell yeah, he's supposed to. That's his job. Look at what you mean. A relationship, y'all got. You can just come in with a relationship where we co-parent. We don't need another man coming in doing anything for her. I ain't trying to do anything for her. You sound crazy. You are. You
can stop it now.
First of all, that's a terrible skit.
Yeah.
Like a terrible skit.
So you feel like it was fake?
Yeah, I know it was clearly fake.
Oh yeah, I won't be really telling. I can't really tell.
But the man and the woman didn't even really match up. Like there's no version of a relationship they'd probably be in unless that was like her step dad. It just didn't even.
What was the physical attributes that made you say that though? That they don't.
Oh no, their age don't make any sense. And then
it's just the lack of chemistry.
The apartment that they was in and the age gap wouldn't make any sense.
Let's just say
for that.
Let's just say it was real. I didn't dive into it that deep, thinking like whether it was real.
Well, then, like if you like in a situation and the person you're dealing with got kids, and their kids are disrespectful, you ain't got to say nothing, but you should take note. Like, oh, this might be a situation where, you know, the kid hadn't had the proper training, and it might be a reflection of, you know, the parent as opposed to the kid. And, you know, if you got disrespectful kids, then I'm gonna look at it as a red flag towards you, not necessarily a kid, or feel like I gotta be the daddy to that kid. I'm just like, oh, okay.
So could
I
you
see
see
what's
yourself
going
being
on.
in like a relationship where you dating a woman with kids, but and then like she just kind of totally wants you to just be with her, and not it's not about a relationship with the kids. You're here for me.
I mean,
Tell them that's your preference, Johnny.
yeah, that's. I mean,
Yeah.
it just depends. But like,
Johnny said that's the good end of the stick. Right
I'm
there,
not the-
boy.
I'm not-
It could be worse.
I'm not the dad. Like, and like, I wouldn't if I had a baby and somebody else and they was going to be with I wouldn't want nobody else to try to be a dad to my kid either. So I think I owe, you know, the man that respect. Is like, I ain't going to try to replace nobody.
Does he live with them? Are they living with her? Or like,
Well, that matters too.
No, I'm saying like obviously they live together. Seemingly they live together. Do you like if you was living with a woman and she had a kid, would you be comfortable like pretty much just anything you see like I'm just going to tell the mama and let her handle it? I don't never really talk to you or address anything in the household.
I mean, there's a child's place and an adult's place. So you know, you're not gonna talk to me any kind of way or certain things. There has to be a level of respect, or I'll leave. And your mom would be mad at your ass. So you'll have to deal with that. But yeah, I'm just not gonna tolerate a certain level from a child.
Yeah.
I'm not. Like, mama's the best woman in the world. That child ain't gonna talk to me no kind of way. So as long as the child's respectful, it's not my place. There's certain things it's not gonna be my place to do. And I'll just be a good support system. And the child comes to me with stuff, I'll be a good role model, you know, a good mentor, but
a good adult.
A good adult, yeah, but not a parent, because that's not my job.
You ain't had nothing?
What question would I be specifically answering?
Oh, just a reaction to the damn video.
Well, I gave my initial reaction.
That it looked fake, but we're speaking.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, what scenario out of that am I like? There was a bunch of different things that happened. I guess she said something about am I answering like should a stepfather have something to say? Am I asking like if that was a toxic scenario? That's your meme. So I'm trying to find out where you want to drive the conversation.
Answer the first question. Huh? Answer your first question that you came up with.
Should a stepfather have the ability to say something to a kid? Yeah, sure. I think being like a good adult, like in general, comes with being able to give direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next meme.
I don't know.
Go to the next. Let me see. Go down.
Ruler said next video. Don't even.
I ain't going to this nigga foolery.
Hey,
go click on the last one right there. Click that. The last one. No. Down one. Yeah.
Yeah. You ain't think I was gonna find out? Huh? Like, I am not to be played with.
That's not real.
That's probably not
real.
Not real, bro.
I'm not to be played with.
That's not real.
I'm not to be played. Y'all, this man been driving me crazy all week. Leaving out that.
It ain't even that serious. When I thought about it, I have
that boy got the blocks back there. He was worried about it.
Oh no, I don't have to worry about all that. See, my wife ain't into all of those types of reactions. I ain't never had my car scratched or no windshield busted or no shit like that. I ain't never dealt with women that do all that type of shit. It ain't never happened before. What I was thinking about was like, just imagine if you woke up to, you know what I mean, motherfucker done cut. What you doing, Johnny?
What, somebody cut my hair off?
Yeah, your old lady, because of whatever you done, you wake up and you got one side on, one side off.
Well, I'm not doing that.
You can run around squealing.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I mean, I'm not that attached to my. It'll grow back. Like I'd be like a
Shit
little
me. Shit me. I got a reserve left uppercut. I ain't had to use, so it's been building up HP.
Oh, you uppercutting?
Upcut,
bus
bruh.
driver. You gonna hit it with the,
The bus driver, Jew, bro. Knock the coins out of pocket.
Nah, man, it ain't that deep, bro.
Nah, it is though. I seen that video before. That was reversed, and he caught her cheating and then cut her hair. People are still.
Oh, you would have got whooped.
Well, people would have been okay. Like that's not that deep either.
Bro, it is that deep,
Cut a
bro.
woman hair and see how deep it is.
Try it out,
Woman
Johnny.
hair and see
Well,
how-
yeah, I mean, I
see how
wouldn't,
not deep it is.
I wouldn't do it, but like I ain't saying, but like to
Yeah,
hit
nah,
to
to
hit
be
a
honest-
mother bro. Like
No.
it ain't
What
that
I'm
deep.
just playing. Now you know that was a joke,
Oh.
but I can't tell you what my reaction would be. I ain't saying that it's not possible.
It's not possible.
I'm
bro.
not saying that it's not possible because that's one of those see red moments. If I wake up and you done cut my hair off, that's one of them see red moments. It's possible. Anything's possible.
Then what if he ain't even really cheat? She had something misconstrued.
Hey, that's just. I think it's crazy.
Now, if you didn't cheat and that happened, and then like,
No, bro.
but like I mean, if you did, so if it's tit for tat, this is a toxic situation. You should probably just even if you didn't cheat, it's toxic as hell. You
Yeah.
it should be.
If you would want to be happy, you if you had coffee, don't do it to somebody.
Exactly, bro. You don't. That's too far. That's
But make
too
sure I
far.
do understand. So tone the rail. If she do cut your hair in the sleep, y'all putting hands on her, right?
Nah, I was
Oh, I
actually
ain't know.
joking. I was actually joking.
I just wanted to make it.
Yeah, no, I was actually joking. Well, I'm saying now, in all seriousness, I can't sit here and say that like, what are you gonna do? Call the police? Well, you just wear it.
Nah,
You
probably
just gotta wear
leave.
it and leave.
Get up out of there.
Yeah, that's a tough
You
wear.
take all the backs to her earrings and then leave.
So she gotta buy a pack of backs. That ain't her. That ain't enough.
Yeah, you know how that's going down for you if you do anything as a black man.
Oh yeah, you gonna wear it.
If you react any type of way for real, you know how it's going down for you.
Yeah. You definitely gonna go and sit down.
But if that situation was reversed,
Yeah.
and you caught her and then cut her, yeah, I caught her with this nigga, so I cut her hair.
Yeah,
That
that's
just
crazy.
seems weird for a man to do that.
I mean, it really feels weird.
It'd
It
be-
weird for a
it'd be
man
like
to
a-
have any reaction.
it'd be like
if
a
he
man
go and
keying
bust
a
her
car.
window, it's like, what the fuck
Yeah.
is you doing? If you go in anything that you do, you're gonna
Except
wear it.
just walk
Socially,
away.
we are supposed to just
Any-
walk
well,
away from
anything
any
physical
situation.
for sure.
It was a man slash my mama's tires, bro.
Yeah, that's so gay.
it-
That's gay, bro. I'll pull out a valve stem.
See, that's some cold shit.
Like he literally slashed her tires, bro. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's some dweeb shit. But I look like any reaction that we have to it seems like we're going too far
I
regardless.
mean, the only payback is just to get better. I mean, you could do some petty shit like try to hook up with one of her friends or something, but
nah, that's some young boy shit.
yeah, that don't solve nothing. But
Yeah.
the only payback is just don't give a fuck and move on.
Yeah, I don't know. Let me get one more, bro. Scroll up. What's that one? Just pick the black dude right there. I don't remember what that one was, but just choose him. This is my last one. I'm gonna call it.
To everybody out there, if you got a daddy, man,
Lucy.
love your daddy, man. You never know when your daddy ain't gonna be here no more. And when they gone, it's so much shit you be gonna tell them up. It's so much shit. But when they gone, bro. So if you got a daddy, man, and he's still living, man, tell your daddy you love him. Just so when he gone, man. I just know my daddy proud of me, you know. My daddy will be proud of me.
That was a whole flip on the jump, but nah, that's dope too. I think that a big thing that we have to kind of learn society wise that we also have to be willing to give our dads as much forgiveness as we do our moms. We have to be willing and able to forgive and understand that as you're a parent, especially when as you grow older and you become a parent, you'll start to see that your kids, you ain't perfect. You want some grace. You know what I mean? You want some grace for sure. And so and I know, you wait so long, but yeah, I definitely think that we got to give our father some more grace. I just had have a heated conversation with old head just before I came over here. Like, it was just rough, but I still, it was, it's just one of those things that, when a line that we don't cross. And at the end of the day,
that's what I was going to ask you about that situation. I mean, he didn't mean no harm personally.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, it was just probably just a unintentional thing.
Yeah. But the thing is that if you don't say something, then we don't need this accident to happen again. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but where did the anger come from though?
Oh, the anger came from the fact that it was almost like an effort thing. It was like you know that we don't do this around we don't do this around my kids. I don't do this around my kids. I wouldn't want my kids to be around anybody that's going to do something around them that they know I wouldn't do. Because there's a standard, you know what I mean? And he knows the standard. And like it's not something that I can respect regardless. So like from this point forward, I know that we're not going to have this accident again.
No, I get it, but yeah, I mean, but it seemed, I don't know, like I said, I wasn't there, but it just seemed like a lot of anger for something that may have just been a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, there's at the end of the day, you can make a mistake. Is there not consequences to your mistakes?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so I ain't saying that I was giving them a consequence. It's nothing like that. It's just that we're gonna have to have this talk, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel about what you did. And we just need that not to happen again. And we can move forward. I was hot, but we can move forward. I'd have been mad at him before, and we get over it. You know what I mean? That's just a part of it. Again, that grace. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna be on the same page all the time. But at the end of the day, I know I love him, and I don't want to not have a relationship with him. So let's get this out the way, get this level of emotion out the way, and then we'll start again tomorrow.
Nice. I like that.
Gotcha. I guess this seems like it probably would be a perfect alley-oop to talk about an upcoming show.
Oh yeah. So yeah, y'all know we got the Who You Talking To pod, me and Old Head Senior. So it'll be Old Head Real and Old Head Senior. Who You Talking To podcast. We're gonna be shooting. We'll be live on Saturdays around about 7:00. It'll either be 6:30 or 7:00. Still gonna ink that in. We'll be starting next Saturday or this Saturday coming. And yeah, I think it's gonna be a great show. Of course, we're gonna talk about fatherhood. You know what I mean? Our relationship, the differences in the two generations. You know what I mean? What he looks like. What do men look like to you? The men of today. What do we look like to y'all generation? And then I'm gonna tell him how we feel about, you know what I mean, them too. And if you know me and my father's relationship, it's like it's a friendship relationship. You know what I mean? I still respect him, but we have a different, you know what I mean?
So let me ask you this.
What up?
Who's Old Head Senior?
Move forward, bro.
I'm trying to figure that out when I was looking at it. Like, which one is Old Head? Okay, all right, man. But yeah, I guess the quick reaction to the meme would be, I agree with everything that he said, and I do think you made a good point. The same empathy that you have for your mother, make sure that you lend that to your dad. Especially understanding what previous generations didn't have the tools given to them to be able to maneuver through very specific ways, in which looking at a 2024 lens of being a parent and quote unquote what you receive, of course it's always going to be tilted. But the reality is that, in my opinion, as long as you feel that your parents did the best they could with the tools that they did have, then there's always room for easy forgiveness. Forgiveness.
Honestly, I don't really believe in that the best you can thing. I think that as your parent, you kind of just they created you. So there's a level of grace and appreciation, unless you just hate your life and all that shit. But I mean,
you don't believe the best you can thing.
Yeah, I don't really believe in the best. Me right now with my kids, I know I can do better. So it's not the best that I can do, it's what I've chosen to do. The amount that I've chosen to put into it, that's what I'm doing. And it changes every day. And every day I know that I could do better. So it's not the best that I can do or could do. I'm just doing what I felt like doing today.
But you probably,
I guess that's the perspective that you can have.
I always look at it like
I'm never like that's not the most healthy perspective.
Yeah,
but for me, I challenge myself, and I think that I get better from not giving myself, that's the best you could do. No, I can do better than that. I can do better than that, and that's how I am with myself.
I think that lends itself to be toxically delusional, though. Because like if you set the standard at something extremely unattainable, like you're only going to have regrets and like these negative emotions to the actions that you're doing, even if in reality it is in the circumstance the best that you can do. Of course, nobody can devote 24 hours to doing any task and like this extreme version of it. No, the reality, if we just land inside like what people actually can do while still operating as a regular human being, I don't think that. Yeah, I think that for the most part, there's a baseline of a person doing the best that they can with the tools that they have.
So what I'm saying is, to give you a good example, is like, okay, I come home from work and I get my little bit of time. Like, okay, I could have read her a book today too. I could have done that. I can make this a consistent thing that I do every day, read her something so that she can get, you know what I mean, better. Like, that's all I'm saying is that like, this is when I come home, I've not given my best every day.
Right. But do you think that it's necessary that 1,000, well, let's just say 100% of your time outside of work is just devoted to you? And then there's a journey of even learning that as a parent, that it's its own journey. And even like how you parent your second kid and third kid is going to be different than the way that you parent your first kid. But that in itself is the journey of learning how to better parent. But at that moment, you was doing what you knew inside the moment. Some of that's probably just like things that you picked up from a parent or something like that. They came home, they went and relaxed, XYZ, in which with more information, of course, then if there's a negligent action to where you're intentionally not doing it, then to me, I think that that's different than if you're, working your way through the process of parenting in which there's no guidebook to.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, what I believe is not going to work for everybody. Like, I believe that, like, even if I was to, like, if we came on here and did a show and it did some crazy amount of views, to me, it's like, oh no, I could still do better than that. You know what I mean? Anything that I really do, like, I always look at it like there is growth to be done, and this is not the best that I can do. Like, it's not the best. I did a good job. But if I'm going to go at it again, then I can always get better.
But that's kind of how I look growth at of like that moment. At that moment, you probably did the best that you could with what you could. To me, like even inside the example that you just gave, obviously when you look back and then you critique it and you get more information, let's just say whatever the topic is. Let's say topic is immigration. And afterwards you end up having some more information about it, or you look back and be like, damn, I missed this point, XYZ. But in that moment, you probably was like grabbing at all the straws with the best information that you had and putting it together the best that you could. Obviously, the next time would be a step of progression.
And that's all I'm saying. And at the end of the day, that's something parenting, that's choices that you make every day. So from today to tomorrow, I know that yesterday necessarily wasn't my best performance. And then I have some days where I feel like I did a good job. Well, yeah, we ain't got to keep going back and forth about it. But that's just the way I look at it. I always look at it like I can do more.
Well, so you're not human.
Hey, shout out A Black. Hey, listen, it is your favorite fence sitting moderator. Q.
What up, A Black?
But now I'm gonna say like ain't no person
perfect,
and nobody's like gonna operate at 100% every day. So I mean, just because you wasn't at 100 don't mean
it's just an unhealthy expectation.
It wasn't your best. And I think there's some health in giving yourself some of those like rewards and pats on the back. Like, I am a good father. I am like doing what I know, because that's also fuel. You got to know that you're doing a good job, because there are things that you're doing good that you want to keep on doing. So if you just always, I got to do better, you might not, give yourself enough credit in the things that you actually are doing, and like that your kids and family appreciate. So, got to pat yourself on the back too. That's very important.
I'm gonna let the conversation move forward, so we ain't gonna sit here and keep going back and forth about this.
All right, who's up next?
Me. Did we want to read some of the comments?
Yeah, sure. Good day, guys. Love you all.
Love you too.
Love you.
That's total disrespect. Age doesn't have anything to do with. She should have talked to him in private, not in front of the child.
I'd agree with that.
This was in reference to the meme after that one. Karma.
Yeah, karma.
For the man cheating on his wife and getting a haircut.
That's tough, bro. That's tough.
Women need just to leave the man. I would have probably put itching powder in all her underwear if she cut my hair.
That's rough.
That's petty.
I always told my pops I loved him. We understood each other. He taught me a lot, and he saw the man he raised. Old fence sitting queue.
That's a 2 week. No, that's an unpack callback. Yeah.
No parent ever gives 100% of their time because it's impossible, but they do the best they can do, and the best is all that anyone has to offer at that moment. What's up, fellas?
What up, Black?
Yeah, let's go to the memes. We can start with what I like to noun title the Great White Hope. Hit right there in that middle.
Cooper Flag?
Nah. We don't believe in it. You know that.
Did. She different. And no shade, but I'm glad she cooking her ass too.
Yeah.
This what the internet do. Talk. Yeah, when you got back that shit up, shit get real. Yeah, it. It's so funny because I knew this shit was gonna happen. Talk about reality. Reality is they just cleared a spot for the first time in 8 years, and she gonna be rookie of the year. She should be. God, I love Caitlin Clark, man. She different, man. The hate ain't gonna work, man. She like that.
Hey, shout out to Leah Boston too.
Shout out Cheryl Swoops having to eat them words over and over and over and over and over. The Great White Hope. Who you got for rookie of the year WNBA?
Well, Angel just got hurt. And
outside of that, like if Angel finished the season, it's not even a close one.
Yeah, Caitlin's better. I mean, not better.
She's smacking right now.
She's having a better season. Like Caitlin is like that.
Outside of rebounds, how would you judge Angel Reese to be better?
You can't, but rebounds, but Kate, but to be fair, Angel is historic when it comes to rebounds too. Like she is a historically good rebounder when it comes to the game. She has the most
legit Andre Drummond.
Well, she got the most single season rebounds in the WNBA history as a rookie. So I mean, she's generational in her own right. But yeah, Caitlin got it right now.
Cold. They ain't been to the finals, not finals, playoffs in 8 years.
Yeah, I don't hate Caitlin Clark.
Was she out here dropping 28 point triple doubles and like going crazy?
28 and 12.
And what like this is where like that generational divide be crazy. In which I understand, Cheryl. It does hurt to see that white woman dragging right now. But at some point, you got to just recognize what is happening, in which if you can't just say that she's doing good, if you got to go radio silent with the hate, it's a little nasty.
Yeah, like I mean, that's
like she is putting up like as a rookie, putting up 28 point triple doubles.
Yeah, like she got it. Like,
and when she talk about the fever, she'll skip she'll skip her and talk about every single body else. It's just kind of crazy. But yeah, shout out the Great White Hope.
Oh, yeah, shout out South Carolina too. We better run that back.
Yeah, I don't watch basketball at all, and then I couldn't tell you especially the WNBA game. I ain't seen.
You don't know Asia Wilson?
I know who these people are, but I don't watch any of it.
All right, so that was let me go with another quick one. Do you see the two chicks at that bottom corner? Tell me what y'all think about this.
I always say I feel like pussy stank back then.
Wow. Why?
They was eating McDonald's every day. They was eating Burger King every day. They was eating oxtail.
When was boric acid introduced?
Like 5 years ago.
Ooh, you're right.
Like boric acid has been around to kill them roaches.
Right, but it wasn't around.
But they didn't know you could put it in your pussy. They was douching.
Douching is so bad.
Ain't that what we said? That she constantly douching and cleaning her pussy. And it stank.
Yeah.
You do that to your booty?
I've douched my booty before.
Me too.
You freaky little motherfucker.
Have you ever seen that video on TikTok? 16 niggas canceled on me while I douche my ass till the water's clean.
We can end it.
But if
you know, you know.
No. But why do you have 16 niggas on your line that feel like they about to enter your booty hole?
I always say I feel like pussy.
Okay.
Bro, what the word?
Poor minds.
Poor minds. They do be wild.
I ain't seen them in a minute.
Wow.
What y'all think? I mean, no reaction. We can move on.
Where we supposed to go with that,
I
bro?
have no fucking idea.
y'all think like old school vagina used to stink worse?
Well, because
was it the food they was eating?
Well, no, women were younger. So like they didn't have proper like when
etiquette.
Everybody stink more when they're younger versus.
So we are at like the precipice of clean Or no?
I don't believe that.
No, I think the grown women are because there's so much more information out there. It got to be. If it's not, hey, ladies, like you got all the information out there, so why wouldn't it be?
So Johnny, you are out in the field right now.
No, I'm not. Don't put
as a veteran, as a veteran of these streets, have you noticed like a increase in cleanliness when it comes down? Like if you go from
absolutely,
like okay,
maybe
okay.
Absolutely. Like I believe it's If you haven't,
does
fellas,
it taste better?
Absolutely.
Hey, Black said, how old school, the 90s or the 60s?
Listen, the 60s, it was a guaranteed jungle you was climbing through too.
So y'all feel like it was funky? What? Because they had more hair, so like is that big more funky?
I think that it probably had more like humidity down there because of that. But I imagine
the draws was different too. Like
that's also true. It was more loose fitting clothing,
cotton and materials weren't breathable.
Y'all know what good pussy stank is? Like it'd be like.
Why don't you tell us, Tone?
Yeah, you got like this is a new term. You got, but Tone got interested at the end when you started saying, "And I be dishing my ass." Tone say, "Wait,
wait a minute,
we can't stop here."
No,
Tone like anything.
Like, wait a minute.
He said, "Hey, no, I gotta get into this."
Tone me on the booty holes.
Nah, bro.
Tone me on the booty holes.
All right. So that was I guess the fun part of my memes. I did have two good ones that I think probably could spiral itself. Go to the half FBA, half Caucasian lady to the right of
what?
CC.
Yeah, you gotta tell me who you talking about, bro.
The mixed lady.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it said half FBA.
What was that flip of the switch moment that permanently changed your life or perspective?
It was my first day in therapy, and my therapist said, "You seem really well adjusted for someone who's never gone to therapy. Why are you here?" And I said, "I'm a good husband, I'm a good father, I'm a good friend, I'm a good employee, but I want to be great at all those things, and I feel like if I could be great at those by myself, I would have been by now, so I'm getting help." And she said, "Employee is someone you are for your job, husband is someone you are for your wife, father is someone you are for your son, and friend is someone you are for your friends. Who are you for yourself? Who are you outside of those roles?" And then the waterworks happened, and I heard myself say, "I'm not sure there's much of a person at the end of all that." And that was the beginning of me figuring out who I was at 30-something years old. Everything changed after that.
What was that flip of?
I'll leave it to y'all to react first.
Well, no, I think it's like as you get older, as you get grown up, when when you was a kid and you want to become all of these things, but you lose that inner kid in there. You lose that that interpersonal, I guess you could call it a why or whatever that thing is deep down inside, where a lot of our trauma comes from, a lot of our joy, a lot of our ambitions come from. A lot of times in this thing we call life, we forget about that. And that's one of those things, one of those, it reminds you, it's like, damn, if I ain't got none of that, who am I? And if you can't answer that, and sometimes it's a tough thing, you can know it and not be able to put it in words, but you should always think about that too. That way you can keep showing up as all of those things.
Yeah. I guess where I'll probably start the conversation off at would be there was well, let me see. Well, yeah, I'll start here. Well, there definitely was a moment where I found myself disliking having like free time. So like it was always good to, like, if I had to go, like mad basketball tournament. So I was doing this over here, doing that over there, XYZ, where when you're not fulfilling a duty for other people or doing a thing, you end up having to be like, damn, what do I actually want to do? What do I actually like doing or whatnot? And so like, I think that ends up reigning really, really true, especially the older you get and the more responsibilities that you do have, where it's easy to just be caught up in being a father, being a husband, being a really good friend. And then you can lose the idea of exactly who you are and what you individually like doing that has nothing to do with anybody else. And yeah, so like I said, I thought that was a really good meme.
Yeah, I think it's a good meme. I don't really know. To be completely honest, I don't necessarily know. If I'm being honest, I guess I don't know who I am. Like I like generally everything that I'm doing is responsibility based, and I base who I am or how I feel about myself based to me on how well I execute said roles and responsibilities. I do find pockets of time for myself where I do something that I like to do. From you know what I mean, you get your little 30 minutes to an hour after you've done everything. You know what I mean. I say find pockets for yourself to do something that you like doing, but I mean. To me, who you are is heavily relied on. It relies on your output and what you're doing as a man. That's kind of like what we're groomed into. You know what I mean? That's kind of
I think that's what we're groomed into. I don't think that's really who you are, though.
But that's why he was in therapy, because he said he was doing good at all of those, but he wanted to be great, and the therapist redirected it back to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what the therapist was trying. In order to be great at all of these things, you have to be in touch with that inner person of who you are, and that helps make you do that stuff better, and it helps give you the motivation to show up because you know who you are inside.
Yeah, I'd say that since we started, because I don't know if y'all remember back in season 1, like I used to always say stuff like this place ain't that great, talking about like Earth and all of, the life ain't that great, you know what I mean? But I think the podcast has given me a space of like doing something that I like to do. Or I didn't know that I like to do this until we started, you know what I mean? And this is something that I feel like is therapeutic. Which is one of those things that I feel like I do this is for me. You know what I mean? This is for me. And those it's enough for me. Like, you know what I mean? It gives me that reset to start the week every week. You know what I mean? And yeah, I still feel like my responsibilities are what make me, but not gonna say what make me, but like they speak to my character and who I am and how I handle my responsibilities. But I do find like this is like one of those pockets of time where it's like, this is for me. You know what I mean? That's why I'm going to be here and continue to do this for as long as we can keep it going, because like, this is for me.
But don't you think it's help too, though?
Yeah, this is help.
Yeah. So that's the thing.
But I guess I would say, I think that even in this, you end up being able to woodshop. Well, one, like you end up, how about this? I'll use myself. Where like a thing that I have recently recognized and is really good, is that I've learned that damn, you actually care about learning and like researching and like being challenged with new things that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so outside of like a pod or anything else like that, I'm finding fulfillment in doing that task that I don't have to do. It's not a responsibility to anybody else, but it's something that I'm enjoying doing. Like I like to call it like download. Like I actually, after I finish it, I'm happy with me, and I enjoy that thing of like just that isolated task that I'm doing kind of for myself.
What kind of task you talking about? Like,
you said what?
Can you give an example of like what type of task you talking about?
Oh, so I'm just talking about like just. For me, it's the idea of like pushing myself to learn new things that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, for example, immigration, I wasn't like super well versed in immigration. I knew like some baseline shit. But like I could do this with almost like any topic that like a lot of times we'll unpack the different things like that. And I'll take a day or two. Taj B, she'll see me down here. Like I literally just I go video to video, agree, disagree. You know what I mean? All sides to the point. I start writing down my whole little notes. I'm just doing things in which like I'm getting fulfillment to me, it's like my brain's expanding a little bit when I'm learning something. And at the end of it, I have a little bit more clarity, and I feel like I've like personally accomplished the goal. And like that's something that outside of, like there's no other gratification that I get outside of it just being something that I'm doing for myself.
Mm-hmm. And it's still, I wrote some bars last night too.
All right.
I got some bars, and I actually felt good about them.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time in a while I've actually felt good about some bars that I've written, and I was excited to shit last night.
I gotta.
Hey, look out! I might have to come out of retirement on that.
Get in the lab and serve.
Hey,
Just curious, y'all, anybody else like discovered anything that you're interested in that you didn't know you was that interested in, like in your adult?
Or that's for you.
Yeah, I actually had an experience like what you were saying. In figuring out that I knew I liked it, but I didn't know like I really loved like engineering and like seeing how things are put together or figuring out things and stuff like that. I sit there and watch for hours just shows about like on YouTube or anything, people taking stuff and putting it back together, figuring out how stuff work. Like, I don't know, it just does something to me.
And yeah, to me, like a big piece of that ends up being when you have nothing to do, what will you like find yourself doing? And a lot of times I think that it's really easy to be distracted with like the idea, well, I'm gonna go do this for this person, or I'm gonna just watch a movie. And some people, they do just enjoy movies, so that's its own thing. But a lot of times we end up distracting ourselves with things and responsibilities, and it makes it to like there's a piece of it to where I think that we end up running away from actually getting back in touch with our own self. Like,
there's another aspect of that too. I'm so I ain't just there's another aspect I was thinking about of this because I've been thinking about this like the past few days. My grandmother, she has Alzheimer's, so she hasn't been the same, and I don't know how much longer she's gonna be around. But it was like I was thinking about the fact that I haven't went to go see her in a minute. And so, like, you know, you get caught up in life and trying to do everything, and the reason you're trying to do the stuff a lot of the time be because you want to be there for your family. But it'd be like in the process of doing that, you end up missing out on a lot of different stuff, or you end up not being there. So it's like I think you also have to keep in perspective what really is important and who really is important to you.
Right. I agree with that.
I think a lot of men forget that and get caught up and be like, even in the task of doing the thing, you forget that you miss the opportunities where you do have time to go do this, or you don't make the time to go do.
I agree with that. But I guess if I was to redirect it back to the meme though, I think that at times we forget to like do that with ourselves as well, especially the older that we get.
Yeah, like you said, with the more responsibility you have, the less time you have to even think about your damn self. You pretty much go on everything. Everyone around you relies on you to do something, and with all of that, it's like
it's easy to get caught up inside like a
but I think you'll mess around it. You'll mess around and like even in the little bit of downtime that you have, you'll fuck around and research how to get better at some shit that you're doing for somebody else.
Instead of,
you know what I mean? It's hard to really think about like what is it that I like to do, and so for me, it's been like potting. So like I'm getting so into it and just like, okay, well, what are the different genres of pod? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's a lot out here. So I'm just like figuring out, okay, well, this looks closer to what we do. What are they doing differently than we do? And I tend to, it's like, to me, I realize that this is for me. So someone can look at it like, oh, you're doing exactly what you were saying. Like you just trying to get better at something that you already had to do. But that is a release for me, learning that information and seeing.
Right. Well, I mean, I think that if I was to like say I think that you enjoy engaging conversations. For sure. And that's probably something that you seek out and get satisfaction out of.
Especially vulnerable conversation. I like hearing shit that feel like the truth. It said what it said, when it comes from the heart, it warms hearts. That's something that Kurt Franklin said on that interview with Club Shay on Club Shay Show.
I don't believe in Kurt Franklin.
How do you not believe it?
This nigga ain't never stoned.
Hey, what?
This nigga ain't.
Hey, no, I'm gonna tell you. Look, growing up, see, Quintet, and I think we said something about that. I asked you about that. I was like, have you ain't never had like no gospel music actually like touch you?
Everybody knows Stone. Like
no. I know you know.
DP, are you with me?
But he got way more hits than that, bro. Like he got.
I don't not know gospel because of my mother actually listened to gospel when we was growing up, like on Sunday mornings.
Nigga, I was there. Every time she got out the car, we used to turn back on that Jeezy.
Yeah. I don't have a deficit of gospel that I didn't hear. Yeah, I definitely heard.
Then she used to get in and he'll leave it on to see how long he better listen to it while she was in there. And I'd be like, this ain't gonna go right. Then she turn around with that and then ain't have to wear that motherfucker.
Yeah.
But every time, as soon as she catch on, because you get a little bit of time.
She's like, wait a minute.
She catch on and I'm like, what is this? And then
the yams at my auntie house.
Let me finish off with this last one.
Hey, but hold on. I just want to add something before you go. It is like I think like when you look at older people, I think you can see the ones who've been more successful at that and the ones that you're not. Because a lot of times, like when you get into, especially like not your 30s or 40s, but you talking about 50s, 60s, 70s, you can see a lot of people who still have that youthfulness about them. And you're like, damn, when I get older, I want to be like that. And then you see some of the older people and you're like, man, they might be 50 and they look like they 70. And you're like, damn, he had a tough life. And I think a lot of that goes to putting yourself on that back burner and not really doing what you want to do. So in our 30s, I think it's important to, you know, look at some of this stuff and look at like the people in their 60s and 70s and where they're at and why they ended up some of the places, why they have the attitudes they have. And I think stuff like this is very important because you see those old people, you're like, damn. I don't want to get old, but you see some old people and you're like, damn, it don't look that bad on you.
You know, that's a fact.
That's true.
Never mind. We ain't gotta go down that road. It was that was gonna be another tangent, long conversation. Go to right beside Rich Homie Quan, to the left of him.
Hey, rest in peace.
Well, I was gonna say that for like if none of y'all have that.
You said his name, so
I did.
I had to say
It's here. I actually don't value anything in dollars anymore. I either value it in XRP or I value it in gold. I actually believe the entire dollar system is how should I put it?
Ponzi scheme.
It's worse than that. It's almost like a bank structured scheme to enrich the people that manage the money while impoverishing the people that use the money. It's almost.
And listen to what he says. He is spot on here. Listen to how he lays this out. This is exactly the way it works.
It's like this, right? The banks tell you to put your money in the bank and save it. But you put your money in the bank for them to buy assets, for them to get rich off of, just for your money to lose its value so they can pay you back with cheaper dollars.
This young man is brilliant. I mean, he gets it.
I mean, you don't want to necessarily call it exactly a scam. It's one of those, you get the shortest end of the stick. Here, I actually don't.
Yeah, but I think he laid it out for like babies and kids. And it is the concept of money. When you talk about inflation, you talking about, you know, pretty much them investing your money, and then, you know, I mean, within time, when you that money that's just sitting there, it's going to be the value. Where if you put it aside like a more stable asset, there we go, probably be a little bit better off.
Yes, what Trey was here talking about, buying a home is a bad investment.
Oh yeah, he did say that one. Well, he said that because black women be buying homes.
David Walker, defend yourself.
Say if black women wouldn't buy homes, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Listen, it's two things I ain't seen. I ain't seen him agree with anything black women do, and I ain't seen him hold black men accountable for too much unless they boule or old.
Unless they Greek.
Yeah, Greek. Yeah, you gotta be Greek or like over a certain age. But outside of that, you kind of get a free reign. You can have as many kids as you want.
You ain't got women as you want.
Yeah, you can do anything. Shout out FBA Trey. That's my dog.
Nah, fuck with Trey. Nigga's hilarious.
That's it. You got one more in the tuck?
Oh, I can run another. Well, actually, this would be better than me just running another one. I'd say, well, no. Actually, go to that one right under Rich Homie Quan. Then we can get into Rich Homie.
That's a foot.
Yeah.
I like baby videos, bro.
How do I say goodbye?
That one.
That's good. She got to put a whole mask on.
So that's good. All right, but listen, I ain't seen too many great inventions lately, but that's one of them ones. When I tell you, I thought Isla chipped the tooth yesterday. I see that. I say, good Lord.
Hey, you caught the headbutt yet?
I ain't quite
swell your lip.
Yeah, I didn't caught the feet, the knees. That like they just start doing anything at any point in time sometimes, and they don't mind if your face is there.
Drop the bottle dead on your forehead.
Yeah, they do anything.
Yeah.
But scroll all the way up. There's a thing that deals with Rich Homie Quan is talking right here, and I think that this would be a good segue to go into it. The unfortunate passing of Rich Homie.
I'm still booked every week though. So money ain't slowing down. 12,000, that's some good money still. It just ain't them 40s and them 50s I was getting. Right. But I'm still going to Dubai. You know what I mean? Dubai gonna give me more than that. So I'm doing Dubais and all that. But now me and Fly ain't talking because of the litigation, man. Fly not talking at all. You know what I'm saying? I can't drop no music. My show money down. Man, Man, I got a dark cloud over my head, bro. I probably was the person. I would definitely say I probably was the lowest I was in my life. Cause you got to think, man. I went from here to here fast. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I blame myself, and it's growth. And I know it was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like I might have said some shit 6 years ago in the interview, cussing nigga out, and I ain't that same Quan no more because like I've grown. So even if I did, I'd tell a nigga, man, don't fault me for that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm growing, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know like
was it drugs involved?
Oh hell yeah, man. I was on Molly every day. Oof. Listen, geeked up. Fight down. Listen, I'm talking, bro. I felt like I couldn't do a show or a song without being on Molly.
When did that start? When did the habit start?
When the habit started, shit. On the road, when I first got the road, I didn't on the road. The $800 show, I ain't drink no liquor, no lean, no none of that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, after some type, before then, before some type of way, we on the road, I'm still booked every week though. The money ain't slowing down. $12,000, that's good money still.
So I guess the backdrop before we hop into the conversation would be, I can't remember what day it was, but let's say Thursday, I believe it was. He was found dead, I guess suspected of an overdose by his wife, maybe that morning or whatnot. Rich Homie Quan. Again, rest in peace. I don't know. The conversation can go a bunch of different ways. I'll kind of throw the alley-oop and see what we kind of drive it to.
Nah, I just want to, when I first moved back to Charlotte, 2012, 2013, that was one of my favorite artists of like that era. I think he stamped it. I was telling somebody like earlier last week, maybe that Monday or Tuesday. Type of Way is such an underrated classic. Like people like
he got about 3 of them.
But like it don't get played enough. Like I was thinking, even in this generation, I was like, it don't, as tough as it was, and as much as they played it.
What's the era song to me? Like, but it denotes a definite era. Like the Rich Gang, Rich Homie Quan era, Young Thug era.
It was a classic era. Like, and I feel like it was. I think it was when I was leaving here Sunday last week. They played some Type of Way, and then Monday I was like, people don't talk about Quan, and damn, this shit happened. So it's unfortunate. Like I say, hey, black man, get off them and get clean, man. That shit that we going through, there's people to talk about. You ain't gotta always carry all that weight on you like that to where to feel like you gotta, abuse substance, especially the tough shit. That's taking too many of us out of here. So
I like to say, I think he might have had the most derogatory best hook of all time. What's not necessarily derogatory? Like your parents always think it's derogatory. My nigga.
Oh, I was gonna say he had to get the fuck out of my face too.
You get that fuck out of my face. But my nigga, with YG, like that is such in it role for that one still get slapped to this day.
Walk Through too.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being in college when Walk Through came out.
Yeah.
That would have been a time.
When I walked through. Yeah.
That would have been a time to be alive.
It definitely was a time, and it was a theme song for like some going out nights for sure. Rich Homie, but he did also hit on something that I did think is big, in how he said that it wasn't until he started going on the road, started performing XYZ, and like his first show was
$800 show.
It was an $800 show, but he was sober XYZ. But I don't know if he's saying like necessarily the pressures, the different things that dealt with with like performing got him into being on Molly, XYZ, and even the idea that he said that it was a point where I felt that I couldn't make music or do XYZ, and where like there's like I never did any hard drugs at all. But I know for me there was a moment where I didn't think. Well, I was nervous. I used to have stage fright. And so me drinking, I remember my first performance ever. We chugged 4 Locos and got on that stage. Locos. I don't even know if I was saying all the right words, but I just got to it, and that but that was my liquid courage. That was the thing that got me through inside that moment. And it was a like pretty much for a minute, like I was going to be under like some version of like alcohol when I performed. in which eventually like I got critical, and then I literally started only performing sober. But there was a space where before I was comfortable, that was the liquid courage that I needed, or that I felt that I needed. I didn't necessarily need it, but that was something that helped me get over like the fear of public speaking. But then I think that there was also a space where it wasn't necessarily I had the idea that I couldn't write or do something when I was sober, but a natural part of the writing process was, oh yeah, y'all trying to get these 40s. We about to drink. We about to like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like for me, smoking wasn't necessarily my thing, but like there definitely was like spaces where that was an accent to what was happening, and not realizing how that in itself can be its own slippery, slope of whether you want to get into alcoholism. With him, they were doing other drugs, so they like their shit was Molly and perks and pills and lean and all these things that have even more long-term ramifications. But like I definitely wouldn't like. I know that I'm not inside like an excessively judgmental space because of, especially if you've been down like that path, like he's an artist and different things like that. It's but like 3 or 4 different like decisions and degrees of separation that goes with like certain decisions that you make that can lead to addictions and different things like that. And I think that that's, like I said, unfortunate to hear him passing. And then he's a dad. He got and it looked like he's with the mother of his kids. In which, yeah, I mean, like I said, the story was she dropped them kids off at school and then came back. He was in the house
Well, she
with
said
his kids.
She said she saw him, thought he was asleep.
Thought he was just asleep.
I think she tucked him, put the blanket on him, dropped the kids off, came back. He was in the same spot. That's what she got.
Yeah, and like he got a younger kid and an older kid. He was a dad in their life.
I think one of the kids like 15, 16 years old, which is
that's tough.
Yeah,
which is well, I mean, I agree with you say, because I mean, there was a spot where I was dabbling in the arts and doing that, and you're right. I mean, there is like it's a crutch, like where you feel like I can't do it with that. It's a crutch, and that's why I say you got to talk to people, and you can't allow it to be. You can't allow yourself to be disabled because of that crutch. You can't allow yourself to get into that sickness, that addiction. Like, yes, it's fun and games when it's just, oh, I feel like I needed to do this, but then that transitions to I needed to
be social,
to have this tough conversation with my kids,
that's another good one.
Or my wife. I needed to go talk to my mom. I needed, because damn it, this motherfucker just pissed me off. Now I gotta have this tough conversation, and I need my crutch. And that's the thing about like our culture, the society, popular culture, is where we push a lot of these enabling things. We push a lot of these crutches, but then on the back end, there's not a big culture of put the crutch down, or you don't actually need it, or and we're getting better at it. But like, obviously for a person like Quan, he didn't have enough resources to be able to find other outlets besides I need to be on this thing, or I need to be able to try to get itself clean. And I think, yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, I actually I appreciate the vulnerability that he was in that clip that you just showed. I appreciate that. I'd say I think that sometimes we because like generally like what you was talking about, like I used to feel the same way. Like I had to hit the J and you know what I mean, couple shots, and then it put me in that vibe to be able to write. Performing wise, I never was gonna try to get nothing to go up there and perform. I'll be moving around too much, nigga might pass out. So but as far as to get the creative juices flowing, you know how you feel like, you know, this is the process that I do, and okay, this worked, so I just keep on doing this the same way, and I'll keep getting the same result. But I think that it's more like the reason why we kind of started is like just that vibe to get that, you know what I mean, just to get the vibe going. You know what I mean? Because naturally you don't necessarily have that calming, or just to tap into whatever that hype is that you need to do a certain thing. I think a lot of times when we think about vices, a lot of times we think about them as a response to quote unquote trauma. And I don't think that that's the case in a lot. Well, that is the case in some scenarios, but I think we don't put enough light on the case of just I just want to feel good. I just want to feel better than I do, and in my normal state. And this vice gets me what I would like. You know what I mean? Puts me where I would like to be. I think oftentimes people do it to have fun. And it's like a part of just having fun. Okay, if it's gonna be a fun night, we're gonna have to drink. You know what I mean? If it's gonna be a fun night, gonna have to have the trees. So like we a lot of times we just put it on like, oh, he must have had something dark going on inside and da 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 da. I'm not saying that he didn't, and people don't, but I'm just saying a lot of the times people just want to feel good. And in chasing that, we end up building an addiction.
No, I agree. Like what you just said right there, people just want to feel good. One of the biggest reasons I never wanted to try cocaine, just for instance, just going straight there. One of the reasons I never wanted to try it was because I felt like I would like it. Like it's too many people who like it for me to think that I'm going to try it and be like, oh, I can just try it one time and do it. So it was like one of them things that always set in for me. Like that's what kept me. I said one drug, but that kept me off of a lot of drugs. It's like, nah, I feel like I'm gonna like it. That's gonna like even with weed, I didn't mean to start smoking weed, but I mean, like I tried it, I liked it. I'm like, you know, it's fun. I'm like, I'm not gonna push it no further than that. Like because yeah, that's really what people try to do, trying to feel good and stuff.
Let me ask you this: so your first experience when you smoked, you did it? You saying it felt good? Well, I'll tell you, my first experience, I hit the blunt one time. When I tell you, my heart was racing. I was like, it was just honestly, I just kept doing it because it was a social thing. It was a social thing. I was in college. That's what niggas was doing. You know what I mean? But it wasn't a fun trip the first few times.
Oh, the very first time was fun as a mug. I smoked the
joint. Oh yeah, not for me.
With some homies, and then we went to Waffle House, and we was laughing at the waitress saying buttermilk waffles. Like we just found that hilarious for whatever reason. But yeah, I had a really good time the first time.
Yeah, I didn't have a good time. Yeah. We laughed, but it was still that body. The body high part, that joint was not cool with me. But I ain't saying, I mean, eventually I ended up.
And it was more a thing of, I know when I initially tried it though, what it really was a thing of looking for a feeling. Like, you know, just wanting to experience something new, looking for a feeling, like I want to feel good. Right?
Yeah.
Like one of them things. And that just goes further for a lot of people. Like it don't be like necessarily a trauma. Well, it might be a trauma, like where you're trying to feel good to make up for something else.
Well, yeah, I think that what y'all like, well, what Rel innately described would have been like social acceptance, not even social acceptance. Man, what was the scenario you just said? You said that in essence you were smoked, like you smoke, you continue, yeah, kind of social acceptance in in group, you know what I mean, behavior. And it just so happened that drug of choice was weed. And that's normalized inside the Black community to where like that, okay, that's cool. But yeah, like that in itself is a response to something, like the need to, even if I don't like this thing, to continue doing this thing because everybody else is getting some feeling out of it. So I need to at least be a part of the in group or whatnot.
It's just imagine, like, you know how they say it's always whack to be the sober person around drunk people. You know what I mean? And then imagine you the one sober person around the niggas high. You don't get none of the jokes. But these niggas is crying, laughing around you. And you're like, I just want to get the joke. I just want to get the joke. You know what I mean? This looks really fun. And it's like, okay, well, I'll try it. You know what I mean? At first I had it was funny because my cousin Mitch was in the room and he didn't smoke. The whole time he still just didn't smoke. I don't know what his reasoning behind it was. Maybe he had some, there was an experience or something that happened to somebody. I don't know what that was, but he continued. He actually was living in the room. It was his room that we was in, that where everybody would come in and we'd go up on the roof of the or the dorms and smoke and then come back and play Madden. You know what I mean? It was literally his room and he still didn't smoke the entire time we was in school. I thought that was dope, but I ain't, you know what I mean? I wanted to feel what everybody else was.
Well, no, there's always some real ones.
And that's like peer pressure adjacent still. Like if understand what you better say something.
Well, no, I was gonna say I just always respected the motherfuckers who weren't like who didn't fold to peer pressures. I always thought that even if I was folding under the same peer pressure, I'd always look at me. I'm like, I wonder what it is that make them not do this, because I don't get it.
And for a while, like, I was definitely so I never smoked until after college. The first time me actually smoking it, and that was us on a vacation in Miami. or whatnot. And I be here. I'll kind of do a thing. But I was the one inside all the sessions, 420. I just had my little drink and all that shit like that. I just it just was something that never was specifically for me. I mean, even to this day, I'm like it's few and far between. Like I think I had like a small little. I've never like been like a super smoker. It's not even a reason to pretend. Inside any capacity. But
I used to pull up to that apartment. I know.
Huh?
I'm joking.
Oh no, but that's what I'm saying. Like the most that I would have ever been smoking was like so minimal to what everybody else would have been doing. To where it's not even like a reason for me to paint any version of a picture.
Like, man, I was smoking once a day. I was smoking a whole joint one time a day.
No, I ain't never been nowhere close to that.
They see that's the whole thing.
The most that like at the height of me smoking even a little bit was like I would do a blunt over the span of a week and a half or something. Oh wow. Like
yeah, you didn't smoke, bro.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
like it's never been.
When I got out the military, I was chiefing. When I got out the military, bro, it was up. It was up. I don't even smoke like that for real no more either now. I kind of, it's just not my cup of tea like that.
Yeah. All right. So nonetheless, I think that even the stories that we just gave, I think it's really easy to be hypercritical of a person OD'd. I done seen like, the niggas that's farming to go viral and shit like that. And
I know,
like
I got some crazy shit to say.
I ain't got no empathy for a junkie and all these different things like that. But we've also sat here and talked about how, like, inside different versions, we were susceptible to either using a substance to mask a feeling or like peer pressure, societal pressures, XYZ. And luckily enough, like maybe we don't have like pure addictive personalities or anything like that. But like I said, we are and we speaking through like a degree or two of separation when it comes down to like what that person ended up like eventually going through. Like luckily, whether it's like the in-crowd drug of choice was just weed, where he's an artist, so their in-crowd choice is this other thing. Or again, like him using it to cope with whatever, like his different little things. Like I said, it's easy to be like hyper judgmental, and maybe this lends itself later to your conversation. But nonetheless, like I said, I do lend some empathy, especially for a black man with black kids that was building a black family.
Yeah, you humanize it. Honestly, I'm glad that I didn't go first because that me. I mean, I wasn't gonna be like hypercritical of. I just didn't care as much because of like the famous people shit. I just don't really care. But at the same time, the conversation that we had prior, that's why I'm glad I didn't say anything. It humanized them, and I think that's what we need to do. We kind of got to humanize them, and that's nothing like what I don't know. That famous entertainers are nothing to look up to. You know what I mean? It's nothing to look up to. It's a person that makes money doing something that they love to do. Like that's not like. I don't know. What I'll say is that like we definitely there's benefits to humanizing these entertainers, and them humanizing themselves. Like I didn't see that interview where he was up there, looked like Mad Hoffa.
Yeah.
I didn't see that interview, but I love the interviews like where you can get somebody that you have an opinion of them. Like what's his name, the dark skinned dude with the fuck, it don't matter. But I listen to that's random name. Dude.
Yeah, I tried to go.
Floyd ain't even that dark.
Yeah, he ain't dark. Lil Yachty, not Lil Yachty. Fuck.
Travis Staples.
It doesn't know. I like Vince Staples. Yeah. But no. What I would say is that a lot of the
Baldwin.
people,
I don't know.
a lot of the rappers that talk about a lot of dumb shit. If you actually listen to their interviews, they're not as dumb as they present themselves to be. Oftentimes, you will see that this is a thinking motherfucker. Like you listen to Waka. Now, when you listen to his music back in the day, it's like this nigga, this is just whatever.
But you can go through like the train of his interviews to see the evolution.
Yeah.
Like you can tell like he was a thinking person, but he did used to think in a very hood way. And it evolved itself over time. And he also had like some infrastructure built in with his mother as well.
And I think just to kind of piggyback on something you said earlier, is like when it comes to accountability and empathy in this situation, empathy is the only choice. Like we can't hold.
Oh, he's already caught
like
all the
he's
accountability.
like God has held him accountable. His family's gonna have to deal with that. Like we can't hold his family accountable. Like empathy is the only answer in this. When we talking about an artist like young, like Rich Homie Quan. Like what else are we gonna do besides show him empathy?
There's scenarios where this could be different, but yeah, I guess is it the only answer? You just I don't know. Go ahead. I'll keep going.
If he would have survived, I would have had a whole different story, a whole different take.
One thing about this, I still do gotta address. Like, even if we are giving him empathy, I've seen this happen in my vicinity, like with people like just Elizabeth City by itself. I know a lot of people that died from the same thing.
Right.
Like the same thing happening. So the other part about this is, even during his time period, I know a lot of people who started doing drugs because of the words that he was saying in his songs. So I don't want to gloss over that. Like, that's okay. That's an issue in our community, and we keep seeing it, but we don't say nothing until it's too late.
But the accountability then is on us.
Yeah,
like for the people that are still out here, for the people that we know that like listen to like the accountability is on us. We can't hold that man accountable. We gotta empathize with his family and the situation they're going through.
I agree with you on that, though. The accountability is on us, and we have to stop glorifying this music that does promote that, or glorifying or letting it slide with people who talking about this. Like, we gotta actually start speaking up in our community. It's our job. That's the whole thing. Like,
got it. I guess. Well, I don't know. We got it. Okay.
That's it.
I think
Ray looked like he want to say something.
Because the thing is, I stand strongly where tone is. Like I said, but then when you humanize the individual and you just talking about them as an individual, but we're not necessarily talking about their impact on the community. You know what I mean? Because if we're gonna take that lane, then it's really like I don't give a fuck. And that's kind of how I felt initially. That's how I felt initially. Like, I don't give a fuck. But then when you humanize it, it's like, no, that was a black man, black father, black husband. I didn't even know he was married until Quintel said that. Q said that moments ago. When you kind of humanize it, and he's like, okay, well, he did this to himself. There's some empathy to be shown, but the impact that he's had on the community, I really, like I said,
I don't think that he had like
impact does he had on the community.
Oh, what I'll say, the
like,
impact
he wasn't
of,
like you. Like he's
I don't know a lot of his music. I don't know a lot of his music. Does he? He don't have like
the man when I walk. He's not like a
2-year period of time, or 2 to 3 years.
He's a party like
but he wasn't like a Molly Lean guy.
He's not a
he
drug
was
artist. He's a party artist.
Okay, so then if he doesn't have that content in his music at all,
and I ain't saying that he doesn't talk about any drugs at all, but that's not the main basis.
His focus was
he's like fly
up.
get
yeah. I know the some type of way song. I know that one. That
the
was
difference
that was
between me and you. I like to get money, and like he was talking about like just turning up. He wasn't. Future was way more of a
talking about stuff, and then people still seeing your lifestyle. People like that's the thing. People ain't just listening to them talk.
There wasn't.
They watching their lifestyle.
That wasn't his lifestyle. That was just the culture.
But he just said it was his lifestyle in the video at the time.
But it wasn't just him. He wasn't the perpetrator. He didn't create that lifestyle. He just lived it. But it wasn't.
Agreeing with what your sentiment was about. Like, it's all of us need to be accountable. I actually agree with that sentiment. Like we can't keep sitting here and looking at these Rich Homie Quan stories and these other stories that happen within the community, not just him, and then keep blaming like, oh yeah, this is just them. This is a thing that's happening to our kids. It's happening in the community. Point blank.
For sure. But I guess what is interesting, and even with like all of our stories, and this is where I guess I was gonna go, and it probably like unpacks a bigger worm, and we ain't necessarily got to get there. But none of our stories started with I was listening to this rapper and this rapper made us do it. I tend to think like so the friend that I do have that did OD was not a music listener like that. Like, it wasn't like based off of him being influenced inside or whatever. Like, there was like way more like whether you want to say family, like cultural or whatchamacallit things that they came with it. But
I can't say you're correct on this because I was
you can't say I'm correct.
Music. I was influenced by the music to try weed. It wasn't directly just that. There was another set of circumstances, but the thing that helped make it okay for me was because it was being glamorized by this time. So like back in
so maybe I guess your story would be a little different.
Okay. I didn't think this was okay, but it's at a certain, because there was more stigmatism on it within our whole community. There was more stigmatism upon it. Like you couldn't just go anywhere and go smoking. By the time I got to college, you about to, like, this was a glorified thing. Thanks to Lil Wayne, lighter flicks on every track coming up. Like by the time like Lil Wayne was making it big, Wiz was making it big at that time. So this
Wiz is like way after.
Bro, I was listening to Star Power in 2008.
But that's an excuse though, because it was always gonna be something. If it wasn't the music,
you still have to understand that to popularize the thing and normalize it, then with it becoming normalized, especially within the culture of every.
But was niggas gonna smoke weed anyway, or niggas was gonna do drugs anyway? I guess that's my point, is the fact that like there is so many cultures that don't glorify this and have bigger drug addictions than black people.
But that's because they really be doing what they saying in the songs. So I think black people still got a sense of, hey, we're not doing all of it.
I don't know.
Future said he don't do all the drugs that he talks about in his songs. Straight up.
I know, I get it, but all I'm saying again,
and
like,
I
I think
think
y'all
never
ignored
tried to
the
do
point
as
that I
many
just made.
drugs as Future. Like I don't know anybody that really wanted to be Future back in and do. Like it's people that
I don't think that was representative of the majority of people.
Right.
Sure. I'd agree with that. It's not representative of the majority for sure. I'd agree with that.
Real quick, Unc said Charleston White said that he became an ignorant young thug because he listened to Tupac.
He'd became the same thug after he was paid in full.
Hey, Charleston White
Warren
be funny,
said
bro.
music can be influential. That's still the same point. Even paid in full, bro. We still glorifying this stuff.
No, nigga, you know, I could if you talk to somebody that's in there,
if you're easily influenced,
and again, I'm not saying that music has no influence, but I think that it becomes like a little bit of an overrated thing.
The problem isn't the music
and again, like to me, the easiest dictator of that is the fact that, like I said, white people do way more drugs than black people do. White people music is not based off of any like heavy, like you might get a little Willie Nelson weed smoke.
A lot of their music is based off of drugs, bro.
Tell me now.
No, they do that a lot.
No. So I've
go listen to some of these rock.
Yes, I've listened to like
they be smoking
for
peyote
sure.
and
Like,
all
so
kind of shit.
let's just take, let's say the height of like white drug usage inside like
Woodstock.
50s to the 90s. Like we just mush all that together, and then you can like hyperbolize it inside like the 70s and 80s. What were their heavy drug songs that do cocaine?
I don't know none of them damn songs.
Well, white people be on meth now, and there ain't no meth songs.
Ain't no meth song. That's what I'm
ain't
like,
no
what
meth songs out there.
They're promoting drugs heavy, and I don't think they was doing that in any music at that time period.
That's my point.
There was a certain thing of it wasn't okay. The more it got perpetuated that hey, this.
But they was doing it more than everybody still.
You hear what I'm saying, bro? Whether white or black, it don't matter what color. The more time has went along and things have became okay through the media for white people and black people alike. Things have became okay through the media that has made society think things is okay to do. Period. Like that people would not have been doing if it wasn't for the message being perpetuated over and over again. When you hear that it's okay to smoke weed and that everybody doing it, you're gonna do it. A lot of white people got on cocaine because they heard it within the music. It's okay to do cocaine, and tell
it was a party drug.
But they also knew the rich white people were doing cocaine, and that's what made it okay. But it wasn't the music.
It wasn't no part of the music that I.
Well, no, I don't know none of the songs, but I've definitely heard
the
white people they do it like country drug songs. Like I've definitely heard those songs.
They say that.
I've definitely heard.
They're not doing cocaine because of.
No, I didn't say that. I'm just saying he's saying that it wasn't in the music. I'm saying that it is in the music, but I'm not saying that the impact was.
All of the biggest records are not drug related. There's only really one drug country singer that you can really name.
Post Malone.
Well, no, he's not a country singer. I'm talking about Willie Nelson.
You don't listen to it.
No, but now, so all I'm gonna actually just like let's start naming them then. Like the majority of the top hits of country music is more so. What you call it? Go ahead.
I'm gonna Google it live and say country songs with cocaine with drugs.
Of course, you're gonna find a bunch of them. Like if you make that, what are the top hits that are drug related?
We're talking about how influential it is, and like I think if music influences you to do, you're easily influenced, and you're gonna have an issue. But you also can't. And I think that's the problem.
You also can't play down
we're easily influenced.
But you can't play down the impacts of propaganda either. We're influenced through everything. I believe that, like as far as a cigarette, motherfuckers feeling like, oh, I'm stressed out, I need a cigarette. That probably came from TV.
But there,
all of this, no, let's not sit here and act like because you playing it down too low.
No,
you playing it down too low.
But you
think about what Scarface.
You don't have to call for the propaganda.
Think about what Scarface did to the hood. Scarface that literally impacted the hood. Like you can go back and listen to any of the drug niggas talk about.
Ronald Reagan's policies ain't have nothing to do with
but
that.
I'm talking about you
probably
can
just
ask,
dropping that
what I'm
cocaine
saying.
in there. They probably did a lot more.
All right, so what I'm saying is that you can ask niggas the impact of Scarface. Ask them. We can sit here and say that what we think it is, but ask them what it was.
Bro, I don't care what one nigga said on Vlad TV.
I ain't talking about one nigga on Vlad TV. Bro, like, you just trying to minimize the point because it ain't your opinion.
Brain. It's a proven fact.
So I'm just wondering. So
what is it? What is it?
Music, it was nothing but a bunch of drug references in it. Puff the Magic Dragon is about smoking weed.
Hey, listen. I think that
Blues is about Johnny Cash being sad. He
great.
Like, bro.
Okay, all right. So hold on. Now, let's pause exactly where we at. Because again, like if we're casting the large thing, I never said that they never made music about it. And if we're talking about, we start off with the Beatles. Most of their records, and like they have a whole album that is supposed to be drug related, but it is also coded and it's not upfront. And like it's something
now
that's
you pushing the
goalpost.
It's not explicit. You moving the goalpost. What did that have to do with what we talking about?
All right. So let's just walk it up. So I imagine what y'all were saying is when they start saying Molly, lean, drug, weed explicitly, that hits way harder than a metaphor. Is that all for correct?
That's not what I was saying. I didn't think we were talking
so
about that at all.
What I'm saying,
we weren't talking about that at all. But I would agree with what you just said, though. That wasn't what we was talking about.
No. So all right. So that's what I'm saying. Like how wide y'all want to cast the net? We can kind of like do whatever. As in,
man,
if the net
and all of this. Stuff, all I'm saying is that every time people listen to
so you ain't trying to find
something over and over again,
bro,
it influences you to think it's okay.
Of course.
That was the only point. That was the only point.
What was my point that I was making? How about
your point was that it's not in white music, but white people still.
I never said that it wasn't. I said
you're saying that white people weren't influenced by their music or they weren't propagated to do drugs. They just did it because for another reason other than the entertainment. What he was saying is that on their side as well, there is a lot of music that is talking about drugs, and that was where you were saying that's not the case. So that's where the disconnect was. It wasn't like that's all we were talking about, not the idea of how it's presented. Like if you're saying it straight out, or if there's a level of coating on top of it.
I'll say it's Q on the fence again.
No, he in a box right now. We just putting the goddamn tape
across. The fact that y'all
would
think that is a box is hilarious. Again, I'll make sure that I at least leave with the point that I was making, in which my main point is that the majority of the country that does drugs, music is not illicitly about drugs. So when we talk about like the quote unquote rappers that are like explicitly speaking about drugs, I think sometimes we give a heavy hand when it comes down to quote unquote accountability, because of, again, the culture that has the least amount does the most amount of drugs. That's the point that I was making.
I mean, I don't think that's what I was about to say. We don't listen to country music. Do you listen to what they listen to? I know I don't. I know my brother, when I was growing up, a little bit of the time, me and my brother shared a room. So he was into it, so I would listen to it.
I'll make this even better. So we could just do the research, but I want to make sure I understand what y'all are saying. Y'all are saying that country music is on par with current rap music when it comes down to listen
completely different. Now you saying that's a completely different statement.
No, that was literally what
I said.
Started talking.
Drug references are being made in all of the music.
Okay, do you think it's more or less when we go rap or country?
It's probably the same amount.
Okay, all right. So y'all do think that it's
on y'all, nigga. He just said.
Okay.
That.
So he said it. You don't agree with that?
No, I don't listen to it. I don't listen to it, so I can't say how much it is.
No, listen. I don't listen to it. I want you to stand on it so I can come and sit on it next week. All I'm saying is I would love for y'all.
I know enough of it to where I can.
Oh, for sure. Listen,
he actually listened to different shit. I don't listen to different.
Hey, listen. That's cool. Next week we could do it now. Let's pull up the top 20 of hip hop and then top 20 of country, and we can compare.
About the top 20 or nothing.
Oh, okay. Now we walking back. Now we walking back.
Not walking back.
So what are y'all talking about?
Hey, one at a time.
So no, it's not about getting out of box. Y'all niggas make up pretend shit. So now you're going into the where you're not even making it like you can't measure it. So now we're saying like pretend shit.
All I said the whole time, my whole
come on,
the whole
back.
time.
Come on.
And I ain't walking back. We can rewind this back and see it.
just know next week I'm gonna just pull it up and I'm gonna shit on it.
Do that
because
it's
like
you're gonna see me say the same thing. Like I always do.
And then you're gonna say,
but hold on. See, this is the thing. See, this is the thing. Now you're saying top 20.
So what are you talking about? Like you saying like in general, like the general sphere of all country music?
Hey,
let them talk.
What I say in general is that when they keep perpetuating drugs in the music, and it's in all music.
Yeah.
When they keep perpetuating this stuff across time, people think that it's okay. That was my whole entire point. I ain't said nothing about no top 20 billboards. I ain't said
so we didn't go
else.
into a comparison of country and hip hop just then?
No,
I'm making sure.
That's what you did.
You just went in.
No. So I think that I agree with your point. My point that y'all were rebuttaling was the difference in the influence of actual music and how heavy we hold the hand. And then you started telling me how country music talks about drugs as much as rap.
Better let it go. He gonna get the last word, bro.
He
let it go, bro. You won.
Prove me right. Everybody in the comments. Everybody in the comments against you.
I will say Tony won the comments.
The difference, but the difference is that I don't care shit about comments. Like I'm not a nigga that go with the
about that. It's about that other people who listen to the music hear the same thing I done heard, and you the only one sitting there talking about some. No, this not a thing.
Okay,
he's not happy with winning the
No. All right, so hey, great representation. Again, let's make sure we understand what's being said, because this is the point that I'm making. Is hip hop does country music have as much drug reference as hip hop? If you say no, then cool, we can move on.
The thing I would probably say that like as far as there are probably a lot more country singers, or on their side, they have more genres of music. Do they not?
There's way more country sing. Are you talking about like white music or country music?
I mean, when we say white music, I don't know.
I didn't talk about white. We're talking about a genre which is country.
So we
music.
just simply talking about.
There's way more rappers than country singers, bro.
You think so?
Yes. Are you talking about like rock and pop?
Well, I don't really.
What are you talking about? I'm talking about explicitly country music.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't listen to
specifically country music.
But it'll,
nigga, I said every genre, bro. Country, rock, hip hop, like whatever you want to do.
I agree with that point. So we can move away from that point. That wasn't the point that I was making.
Let's move on with the.
I'm gonna say speaking of move away, let's move into these memes.
Damn, that meme's over with.
Nah, we gonna get
Johnny
these.
ain't went yet.
Oh, you ain't do yours. All right.
Yeah,
I got a couple of them.
I ain't do man. I got a couple of them. Not too
Niggas
much.
went off the rails.
Let me start with top row middle. This is a callback to the rail to the Me Rail and Tone show.
Oh shit.
Y'all hanging around my car earlier today. Your homeboys, I know it was y'all because y'all only people around here with them ski masks and them bubble coats. I promise you, if I catch y'all hanging around my car again, you gonna what? I'm gonna let y'all drive that motherfucker. Man, ain't nobody trying to drive that ugly ass car. Keep telling you we ain't trying to steal that shit, bro. We only steal top of the line shit. The fuck we gonna do with a 1994 Suzuki Samurai? Then you run around with 497,000 miles on that hoe. You only steal Hellcats, SRTs, and Trackhawks, nigga. The fuck I look like stealing from a nigga that work at Popeye. Lame ass nigga. Biscuit residue all over the car and shit. Whole car smell like a fucking 3-piece. I'm telling you, quit fucking with me before I blow the waves off your shit. We were just trying to hotbox your shit, bro. Look, nephew, man, listen.
I'm sorry.
Big misunderstanding. Listen, anytime y'all want to hotbox that motherfucker, don't need a hotbox. Come to me, all right? That's my only problem. Come to me, get the key. Hotbox that motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. Do y'all thing, bro.
Yeah, okay, all right.
All right.
Yeah, he served that nigga.
Hey, them young boys wild, bro. Don't fuck with them young niggas. I know what I said a couple weeks ago. I take it all back.
Oh yeah.
Young boys wild.
They probably did steal his car too.
Hell yeah, they stole that shit.
They stole it the whole time.
Yeah, they stole that shit. Hell yeah, but hey, let me get top right beside that one to the right.
You not going crazy. You just stuck with somebody who making you think your life over. A lot of people, a lot of y'all got that. Like a lot of humans go through that. Y'all be with somebody and you be like, I'm so over this life. I'm so over. Do you know you just you not really going crazy. You just with somebody who making you feel like that. You okay, cuz? You just get your shit together and do right for yourself. Love yourself. You're forgetting. You not going crazy.
Yeah, like they say, see, you change your environment, you can, change your spot. A lot of times, it was another meme I couldn't find, but it was about anxiety. And like when you're in the wrong environment, how it creates anxiety within yourself. And that's exactly what he was saying. A lot of times when you ain't with people that see your value, you'll start to, lose your self-worth because the people around you ain't really speaking, to what you really are. So yeah, you gotta, sometimes whether that's friendships, relationships, co-workers, family, you gotta get around people that actually, can see your value and what you got.
And also make sure that you're seeing your own value correctly.
You trying to devalue motherfuckers. He trying to devalue motherfuckers already.
Hey, motherfuckers love talking about I know my worth and my value be all fucked up, bro. The loudest one talking about my value be fucked up. Be like, bro, you know I can see you, right?
We talking. All right, bro. This man ain't serious at all today.
I'm looking at you, bro. I can see you, bro. I ain't talking about you.
I know you ain't talking about me, but
that's funny,
people
bro.
that feel like.
That's why I stopped listening to the energy shit, bro. All of this value, energy,
See, you
all
speaking
that
to
shit.
people that have overinflated self-worth, and there's a lot of people that have underinflated self-worth. A lot of people that feel work, and not everybody that you come across is like talking about, oh, I'm worth this and not. There's a lot of people that actually ain't living up to their value. A lot of people that actually being held back by their environment. So that's
who you talking to.
That's more to them,
Okay,
not the other side, bro.
Yeah, but this is To Be Fair show. I had to be fair and talk about the other side too. I had to talk about the other side
too.
too.
You got to talk about the other side. But let me see where I want to go with this one. Let me get the middle. I want to see y'all parents, everybody's parents in here, except for your boy. But middle, second row, middle. I know y'all. We talked about the school shooting. Was that this week or last week?
We did it on Unpack.
Unpack. We talked about it. Yeah,
that nigga looked like Brett Favre.
But he's actually facing murder charges.
180 years.
180 years
for his son being able to get the gun.
But do you understand why?
It's I guess it's because the law says you're not allowed. I didn't
supposed
read
to be locked up or something. What is it?
Well, it's a specific law that they have in Georgia that apparently he broke.
But more than that, like understanding the case, he gifted his son the AR. Like he bought that as a birthday present for his son or whatnot. So in essence, this is the whole idea that there's no reason to be gifting a kid who already the year before was on the FBI's radar, and they had to have conversations with them about an AR-15. So it's like negligent parenting, in which to an extent you gave him the thing and you led to it even after you already understood and knew.
But I think the law
he's saying
had to do with like the keeping the gun safe. I think
he gave him the gun, so you don't have to keep safe the gun that the AR-15 that you gift your son.
Because the thing,
like that was the son's gun,
but that was the law that he's going to just because of the gift or because the son was able to access.
It's involuntary manslaughter.
Oh, so there's no specific law out there about.
I think that they're using the fact of like his negligence, and the fact that he gifted a kid the gun after he already was the year before threatening the fact that he was going to shoot up his school. And they intervened with it before.
And you didn't take the gun? Yeah,
well,
so
no,
that's why he's getting.
Well, no, he gifted the gun to him
afterwards. Oh yeah. Fuck it. Yeah, go and lay down, bruh. Where?
So should the son still be accused as an adult also?
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So they all should
roof him.
Yeah, all right. I thought that was very interesting because you don't see this happen a lot of times with the parents. I think that's a new thing. I think it was one up north somewhere where the parents actually got arrested. And
well, they're trying to start like the conversation around what level of accountability. I was looking at a panel that did kind of talk a little bit about it. There is the slippery slope that it does or could lend itself to when you start talking about gun violence, parents getting in trouble, and like, and then Black and underprivileged communities in itself.
Well, my thing is, where does it stop? Like, I mean, like if it's this, but if the kid's getting charged as an adult, like if you give me a gift as a gun and I go out and do something,
well, you're not my son. I don't have responsibility over you until you're 18.
but okay, but so anything a child does while he's under 18, the parent can get held accountable. Well, is that a precedent that we're okay with setting?
And I guess you're going to like the further part to the conversation. Right. I think that this one was so different though, because there's no reason to gift a kid.
Right,
an assault
I get
rifle.
This one, but
automatic.
Well, I mean,
assault
they do
rifle.
that all the time in white culture. They do that all the time. Like getting a gun for a youngin, that's not like because they hunt and all that stuff. That's not so different.
For your youngin after he's been investigated.
That's the part right there. Yeah. That's the part. This man already threatened to shoot up a school. Then you give him a gun after he threatened to shoot the school up.
I get that, but and that's a very specific reason,
Right,
and that's
right.
why they, I guess, kind of putting it under the blanket of involuntary manslaughter. But it's like, where does this precedent stop? It's like, how responsible are you for your kids until they get 18?
Well, and that's what I think you have to be like careful with that. I don't think that this should be a sweeping rule. I think that this one specifically, I have no issue with it.
Yeah,
because I don't think that there's any to me. If you gifted your kid an AR and he shoot it up, I blame you anyway. That's a fact. Truthfully, probably if you gift your kid a gun and he shoot up some shit,
a gun,
like you got to be responsible for that shit. Like whether that's their culture or not. Like I think the responsibility of a minor and what they do with something that has the ability to be explicitly violent. I think that you got to kind of wear that.
No, I'd agree. That's something that you have to think about when you're deciding to give them the gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the ramifications that I could possibly have to deal with, or consequences if this goes left? Do I still think that I should give it to him? You know what I mean? Like that. That's the process that you should have to wear that.
All right. I'll put a situation in here, and I remember when this happened. But he said a 14-year-old Black kid was charged as an adult years ago for accidentally killing a 7-year-old. This kid is 14 and shot up school with an assault rifle. Go to jail, young white man. But in a situation where the 14-year-old kid killed the child, do y'all think the parents should have got locked up for that?
If the parents didn't have the gun in the safe, then yes.
Yeah, it sounded like you said accidentally killed the 7-year-old, which I don't explicitly know what. All right, we'll just go with like the accidental. Then well, one, I don't necessarily think that kid should be charged, depending on like the scenario. Or charged as the adult, should I say? And then I would say yes to the fact that the parent should.
Yeah. All right. Now, as far as the point that Unc actually made, do y'all like with the 14-year-old getting locked up for accidentally shooting somebody versus the 14-year-old who didn't get locked up for going into school or who did get locked up? Yeah, basically.
I don't know where it juxtaposes. I think he was just using one to say.
No, I'm saying
pretty much
that he should get locked up if he's doing it. Do y'all like? I mean, y'all already said the point that y'all think he should be locked up.
Yeah, I think we all agree that.
Yeah, roof that nigga, bro.
All right, do you want to go through the comments?
Yeah, we can go. Well,
did I get one more?
Okay.
I mean, you can go through the comments first.
No, you don't get one more.
I'm getting many comments on this specific topic. Like the ones before that, we already kind of went.
I got some good ones.
I believe the 2 kids that were Black were playing around and wrestling, and he killed the child that way.
Wrestling with a gun to wrestle with it. That's crazy. I know my cousin. I got a cousin that was fairly close to me growing up. He was killed by his best friend accidentally with a gun. They didn't charge him with it though.
He lied and said that he didn't have access to the gun. That's why he was charged.
Who lied?
The father, I guess, lied and said that the son didn't have access to the gun.
See, I think that's the law is like you can't have like I get a gift or not, it has to be secure from a kid. And if the kid gets it, I don't think there's a law specifically against gifting. I'd have to look it up, but I think
I don't think that would be the law.
But I think there is a law.
I
in
think
Georgia.
negligence and like supervision as like a parent.
But I
probably
think
be
there
somewhere
is.
that it was
I'd have to look it up. I think there's specifically a law that if you don't keep a gun safe and your child gets it, and it's not, and it's not properly secured. I think there's about gun security in general. I think that's the law they're using. But I'd have to look it up. But I just got one more. It's, no, I'll say that one for next week. I'll say it's an R&B topic. We'll probably be here for a little bit.
Yeah, I want to talk about R&B and where it's going, and these niggas out here shooting. Never mind, I ain't gonna say that, but that was gonna be an L. Niggas out here dating women that only listen to trap rap. That's a red flag.
Is it?
That's absolutely a red flag.
You want to expound upon that point?
Yeah, that's just simple and plain. The red flag. If she only listened to trap rap music, she ain't listened to Money Man and all this shit. That's all she got. She bumped. That's a red flag. And the kids in the car. Red flag. I see it all the time. Where we going?
Oh man, did y'all hear about this topic this week? The guy who got charged for he was streaming AI.
Oh yeah, he was from around here.
Yeah, he was from Cornelius.
What is he doing?
Okay, so basically he got in trouble for making AI tracks and like streaming them and making money off of. Like he was using bots to make money. So they pretty much made it like it was illegal to do that. Like he had like 10 million and over 10 million in royalty payments.
But like he's stupid because like he just was making random songs and they would have like 60 million. Like you should at least try to make it like use somebody else's name or something, because I feel like it's very easy if you see like a Michael Smith from Concord.
That's what it said. He had multiple bot accounts that would stream 661,440 songs per day, song plays per day, generating approximately $1,207,128 in annual royalties. The scheme allowed him to fraudulently obtain more than $10 million in royalties. Was he wrong or was he smart?
Because my thing is, hold on. So the bots was making the music. Were they stuff like famous people voices?
No, it was his music.
No, AI was making the music. The bots was streaming the music.
Oh. So he was just getting fake streams. But that's what the industry does anyway. They just mad because bro doing the same shit they do.
But if Lil Yachty use a bot and get 10 million extra views, and I look at it, I can't tell he's using because he's Lil Yachty.
No, I get what you're saying.
If Michael Smith from Concord gets 1 billion streams, I'm like, how come I've never heard of this song? Let me go investigate it further.
My thing is, if it's not illegal for them, why did he get locked up for?
It is illegal for them. It's just harder for them to prove it.
So it's illegal, period. Like,
yes, it's a law against that shit.
I didn't know it was a law against using bots.
Yes, it's a law against using bots. But like, if you're not slick about it, if you just like, if I drop a song tomorrow and I get 10 million views off,
I wonder what they're gonna give him though.
They talking about some big time. Like,
oh yeah, damn! I was about to say, is it worth it?
It's not.
Give me the baby nickel. I'm like, I can do a nickel.
They talking about a quarter.
Yeah, I ain't
couple quarters. They trying to burn his ass.
Yeah, I ain't remember that. I get the baby nickel for a couple. Well, what he said? How many million was
10
it?
million?
10 million. You can't do a nickel for 10 million.
They're probably gonna seize that money.
That's 2 a year.
Sometimes they do.
So you gotta buy assets.
No, all right. So, no, I can't. I can't
assets.
do 5 years in jail for 10 million. I'm out.
Oh yeah, I take the nickel.
Oh yeah, you come out. Money.
Yeah, as long as I got my bread, bro. 5 years, man. Bro. You know how this year over with already.
Okay,
this motherfucker just
gonna come back.
Daddy.
5 years ago, that was 29. That was almost the start of COVID.
Come on, going back to the start of COVID, that ain't too bad. That was just around the corner.
Well, you think
that was around the corner.
You think the military like left you 5 years back going to jail for 5 years?
Nigga, I don't give a fuck. I'll figure out what y'all.
Okay, he said, I'm coming out up.
Okay. I ain't got to worry about what y'all doing when I come out.
I ain't
got to worry about what y'all wearing and all that
ass
shit.
every day.
You said what?
Being there fighting for your ass every day,
man.
You don't believe in that?
Oh no, it happens. I know it happens,
but they ain't gonna do it to you.
No, I'm.
He said he gonna have a
what
shank.
I'm saying is that
he gonna have a shank.
What I'm saying is that the shit doesn't happen as much as niggas talk about.
Yeah.
Nah, but I done heard them niggas. They talk about those stories. They say them niggas got a what they call it. It's a damn.
And what you got to do is you got to leave it in water.
But hold on, let me
That
tell
way
you
it
what
get
they be
rusty.
doing, bro. They said that in one of these jails that they do this shit where they put a whole bunch of liquids like semen and shit and like piss and all this shit, and then they'll shoot you with it. It's a Glock something glizzy.
I know what you're talking about.
They do not call it a glizzy.
They call it a Glock.
It's something. I had a
yeah.
time when I was looking at a bunch of like jail niggas talk about their jail experiences and shit like
Yeah,
that.
nah, that's crazy.
Which, yeah, I forget what it's called, but they pretty much, like you said, put shit, urine, sperm,
and shoot niggas.
And yeah.
Oh my god.
Like, but for 10 million, you put yourself.
You
in that
niggas
predicament.
deserve to be in here. Like, God, dog, like
no, you deserve to take the loan nap.
Yeah,
listen, I'm good. I am comfortable. Like,
if somebody hit me, don't ever let this nigga out. Like,
I am all right. I ain't got it.
You say you ain't got the nickel?
No, I'm way good on that.
Yeah, I think
I'm all right.
The nickel.
Y'all niggas, y'all can dodge that semen and niggas trying to go.
Oh no,
get
you
your ass.
just go in there and whoop a CO real quick, and then get put in the hole.
But then what happened if one you gonna like lengthen your whatchamacallit? And then it's too many things that come with jail
You ain't gonna
politics.
get out the
Luckily we inside
2031.
North Carolina, so it is not as crazy. Tough. But no, y'all auctioning out your asshole for 10 million.
I'll think about it for a while for the nickel. I think about it.
Good behavior.
I think niggas saying
it's
shit.
called a Glock dookie.
Glock dookie. That's what it's called.
How you know that?
Glock dookie.
How you know that?
Up there when it sat down, hit a nigga with the Glock dookie.
The Glock dookie.
That's what it's called.
All right, I'm gonna move to this next one real quick, but I want to give a disclaimer. This video is teachers. I'm not talking about the teachers, but the example that I'm wanting to refer to.
Yeah.
I had seen another video earlier this week, and I thought I sent it. I didn't send it. I couldn't find it right before, but I seen this one on the way. So I'm like, this is a good one. But yeah, I'm kind of tired of seeing this. I don't mind these teachers because it's just teachers. But when it comes to like the videos with the teachers and the students, yeah, it's kind of getting old. So I'm just gonna play the video.
It's 3 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no students, and no students ain't got me. I don't gotta teach no class, but we can go by fast. Like you don't know our step when they right here with me. Hey, turn up with my teachers. Hey, turn up with my people. Hey, turn up at school. Hey, when the kids ain't with me.
Hey.
500,000 fans wanna see us do our dance. We got them haters have a seat like they in class. Hey, turn up with my teachers. Hey, turn up with my people. Hey, turn up at the school. Hey, when the kids ain't with me.
All right, that's enough of that. Either way, the thing about it, their video, shout out to the teachers, because I actually love teachers, and I think the teachers
I actually
are
follow
very,
that
very
page
underrated.
too. Shout out to them.
Yeah, so yeah, shout out to the teachers. I'm not hating on the teachers by any means. I'm not trying to do that. But there's this trend of where you have the teachers with the students shooting videos in the class. The school year just started for a lot of the students, and I'm already seeing a whole bunch of videos. They don't know, they're not doing good in the classes, but they in there singing these songs and everything. They don't need to be learning no rap lyrics. I think that defeat the whole purpose. Like, I don't think they need to be in class. Like they be sitting there like it's building rapport with the, is it actually serving the students to be in class doing songs? Is that actually building rapport? Is it actually benefiting? Because keep in mind, when situations happen like that teacher who had the kids doing his hair because he's too close to the students, when stuff like that happen, then we like, you're supposed to be in there teaching. But then as long as people shooting videos and dancing with the students to the latest song, that's the hot
We
shit.
like the goddamn Fox News of this shit, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you.
it's
I think like
Fox
even
News or what? What is explain
well,
what you're saying?
like you said a bunch of different things to be unpacked. I think like even the teacher thing, the dude with getting his hair. I think that was an unfair representation of what actually kind of was the scenario. But all right, so I guess we can start with probably this part. Do you think that them doing videos with the kids is driving down literacy rates and or impacting it inside like a substantial or measurable way?
Yes, I do, because we actually are seeing that. I think like the lack of focus is, I think that there is a thing where people are trying to be more friends with the kids now. Parents too, the teachers, parents, everybody's trying to be more friends, and we're not necessarily.
But it's not a new thing though, because that happened in our generation
and I actually
a lot too.
I actually understand it. We grew up in a time where it wasn't so much empathy. So it's like we're trying to make up for that with our kids and everything, but at the same time, I feel like to a degree that might be holding some things back for them. Like the school place, I don't think the schoolhouse is necessary. I ain't even say it's not the place. There is a time and a place for things. But when you just start in the school year, you got kids who can't read. You got kids like can't read in upper grades, not just kindergarten and stuff. You got kids who can't read in the 8th grade.
And you think that doing a skit for like 10 minutes
taken away from the education.
It's going to be the
it's
thing
not
that's
10
doing
minutes.
it.
The time that they spend, they only got 90 minutes of class.
Could you look at it like this, Tone? Could you look at it like this? We have a situation in America where, like, we don't have enough teachers. We don't have enough black teachers. And when I see these videos, they're almost like recruitment videos to show people like how much fun it is to be a teacher and to kind of recruit other teachers and to help get the best of us to be interested in teaching.
I think that's a stretch, Armstrong.
Yeah, it really is.
I personally wouldn't go. I wouldn't go.
When they have teaching communities, and this girl right here, even
you talking about like this video? Yes, I think that's what this video is doing. Yes.
Oh, you talking about? I've never seen them, so you know more about them.
I follow her specifically.
Okay, that's what this is. It's making like
this is supposed like. So do you feel like she does these things to recruit more teachers
to help get kids? Because there's a bunch of them. They all
that's what
follow
this is,
each other, and it's a community of teachers. And they're making the profession of teaching more relatable, and they're showing the insides and more about it. So where I think it is helpful to where I think the teachers of today are probably better than some of the teachers that we had.
I want to re-clarify. I'm not against the teachers. I'm not against these teachers that was in this specific video doing what they did. They was obviously on their off time. They adults. They can do whatever they want. But you have a lot of these teachers who be doing this with the students during class time. How much class time do you have to be practiced? Like in order to get on here and do a dance and everything, y'all had to sit there and be going over there and rehearsing it. Like how much class time do we have to be rehearsing?
So how much class time do you think over the course of a year is being spent on making IG videos?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Like
I think it's like so minimal that it doesn't necessarily matter. But I also say like I was just looking up trying to find the graphs, and every graph that I've seen, literacy rates are doing this. That's globally, that's decade wide.
What I've been hearing, bro. I'm hearing that you got kindergartners coming in, don't know anything at all about being raised or know how to wipe their tail.
Even the teachers,
I hear a whole bunch of students don't have good literacy rates, and like the 3rd grade, they not knowing how to read. Like you're having.
All I can do is go by the stats, but I also would just imagine like these are the exact same stories if you was in the 90s and you was working at a low like a Title I school. You was working in the 2000s at a Title I school. Like most kids don't come into kindergarten knowing how to read. Most kids like here's like the reality of it is that in public schooling and schooling in general, 4th grade is the year. Like most of your test scores from 4th grade is what they use to dictate your tracking for high school, for college. They put you inside very specific boxes and all that shit. But that data has existed and has been tracked for decades. This isn't like a new thing.
Let's see. I'm sitting there looking at the comments, so I'm just gonna go over some of these real quick.
But before you go into that, I guess my pushback that I would give, one, I don't think that like this is naturally what they're doing all the time. And I think that the amount of time, if we're talking about like making some random little like handshake TikTok, because you see that all the time, or like I don't see a bunch of like TikToks all the time with a bunch of kids. But what I would say is that it is beneficial to build rapport with your students. This is coming from me teaching, working in schools, working in after schools, XYZ. And like there is a huge difference in the teachers who have the respect and the rapport built in with the kids, and the teachers who don't, and like the outcomes that they get from these kids.
What I'm saying is I do believe in building rapport. Like I said, I'm a supporter of teachers, and I grew up with a lot of like I had teacher family at a certain point. I had like there are a lot of teachers who I grew up with. So I seen teachers build rapport without like this is what I'm saying. Like they have to take a whole class period. You have say you got a 90-minute class period. If you recording your kids on TikTok, they had to take time to practice whatever they was planning on doing on there. They had to take time to do all of this stuff. So what I'm saying, we in September. There's all right. We just got to September. So kids just getting back in school. Like and they recording videos about dog. Like I said, I'm not against this teacher one, but I didn't like the one I seen. I wasn't able to send. I wish I could have sent that video so you could see exactly what I'm talking about. But what I'm saying is, when you have that much time to practice in a class,
what I say is that, like, and then after listening to both sides, I think that maybe now is the time to kind of do the TikTok video. You get that out the way. Top of the year, you built the rapport that you attempted, that you wanted to build with the kids, and then now it's time to hop into this school. You know what I mean? I'm not one that, like, I ain't, off the strength, I'm gonna be the conservative moment. I'm like, no, these kids need to be fucking learning. So we don't need to take no time to learn the Thriller dance so you can Thriller down the damn hallway during school hours. You know what I mean? That's gonna be my natural opinion. But as listening to what Q said, like, I could kind of see where in the beginning of the year you build that rapport. As long as that's not what you finna be doing moving forward, then it could be a good way to gain the rapport from the
yeah. I think like the easy thing would be if it was taking up, like, let's just even say every day 10 minutes. I think that's excessive and that's too much. And it's whatever.
But you don't think a whole 90-minute class period is excessive?
I think that you just made that number up. Like, where are you getting a 90-minute class period of them practicing this?
Classes was 90 minutes.
No. Where are you getting that they're taking 90 minutes of a class period to learn this? Like, I think that's an assumption that you're making.
In order to do a performance, you have to take time. So even if we said it took them 30 minutes out of the 90-minute class to sit there and practice their routine and then do it, which more than likely is going to take longer than that when you got a group of kids, or even with some of these skits, they is doing full-blown skits bro. They're recording full-blown skits in the classroom. I don't think that's really benefiting anything. I think it's more entertaining. I think it's another way that people are trying to get dopamine hits off of getting views. I really do.
But then let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Before TikTok, bro.
When we
had building rapport before TikTok, that's all I'm saying.
But when we was in school, were we spending the whole 90-minute blocks doing we talking, we on our phones? And like it's the same thing. It's just this is a tool. We was texting.
We just getting that old nigga on right now. That's
but like.
Yeah, my thing is, let me see
the
damn test scores, and then I'm gonna get my opinion. But if y'all nigga, I don't give a damn if y'all came up with only one TikTok.
Hey, FBA Trey said immigration affected them reading scores more than TikTok.
It's probably a fact. The thing is,
go
look at them test scores the year before with the teacher that didn't do that, and I guarantee you, like, you can almost track test scores by the funding of the school. Like, certain things just be the same. And like I said, I can't find where literacy rates are dropping. Like, over the decades, it's increasing. So that's why I think that there's a space of, like, we just saying shit. And we don't like the new way of whatever they're doing, but we just saying shit.
Bro, I don't think I'm just saying shit. We didn't.
Oh yeah, no.
Well, you just said that they spent 90 minutes doing a TikTok.
Okay, well, Quintel, you keep finding points to stick to that.
You said 30 minutes also. Every time you build it, I'm asking,
how much time is okay to spend? How much time would you say is okay to spend in the classroom preparing for a dance?
Are you talking about like daily, or are you talking about like over the
say it's not okay for a whole class period?
All right, so now
10 minutes.
So now let's I did just say 10 minutes a day would be excessive.
So you think they're sitting there practicing over 10 minutes a day? Most of the time, people do TikToks.
I don't think. Did you hear what he just? So what did he just say?
I said 10 minutes a day.
It's too much. That's what I said.
Okay, so you don't that's what I'm saying. Most of the time they're not even splitting it up into 10 minutes a day.
Where are you getting this information from?
Bro,
or is this an assumption that you're making?
Yes, an assumption, but I think it's
all right. So like, what are we talking about then? But then, so like, out of like a week, how many days are they doing this 10-minute, 30-minute?
How long does it take to record a TikTok?
Like 30 seconds. Like 30 seconds.
But to teach a whole class to dance. For everybody in the class to know the dance.
Show me the videos of like all these things.
I don't know. How long does it take to record those type of videos? No matter,
I don't know.
At least 20 minutes. So how much time is okay to take out of class to be teaching my kid that?
Well, I answered that question already. I also am saying that I think that over a week span that they're not using that amount of time.
You got a comment say, Q, I just text you education stats. You want to read?
Okay, let me find them. Yeah.
Who's that?
Yeah, read them stats, Q.
Oh wait, is this what she? I think. She just sent that
earlier.
But I will read them. So these are education stats, but these aren't saying the trajectory over decades, and that's the point that I was making. So this says,
hold on. You said Well, the point that you're making
is that like literacy, if you go to like 1950 was shit. And like over decades, like the world, America,
Another
everybody
point that ain't got
has
nothing
been,
to do with what we talking about.
all right, it means everything of what my exact
1950s. We talking about now.
Okay, gotcha. So if my point is if my point is that it has not impacted because of education scores across decades are up, tell me how 1950 don't got shit to do with it.
Because we talking about TikTok right now.
Oh, okay, all right. So you don't understand the concept of what I'm saying.
So no, but
how do I
like
understand
did you so again, if I'm gonna say it slower, if my point is that education scores have been increasing over decades like this, how does not starting at 1950 and moving up through the decades have nothing to do with today?
How much education been disproven since the 1950s? How much science been
What
proved
does
wrong?
that have to do with the point
Because
that I
you
just
sit there
said?
basing like,
How much
forget that
education
chart,
has
that ain't
been
got
disproven?
nothing- That chart ain't got nothing to do with nothing. The education level
It
moving
has
up on
everything to
lies.
do with the
The
actual point.
education level moving up on some
So
shit that ain't
imagine
even
if
true
kids
now.
are more literate now and are doing
So
TikTok
they were
dances.
smarter in the 1960s.
So
off
what
the
like
false
what
information.
like that's the point that I'm making. And to actually prove that, you would have to look at stats over the trend of a stat over a time. Like it's so simple.
So essentially, what you're saying is, in order to know whether it has an effect or not, we're gonna have to wait the decade.
Well,
because we don't know what it looked like
Well,
prior.
you could just look backwards and see if it's increasing.
What I'm saying is that if we technologically created more of this the things that or the dopamine hits that we getting from this social media and all this stuff, this is new. So to say if you go back a decade, it wasn't what was that?
10 years.
2010. Yeah. So yes, TikTok wasn't around. So or what TikTok?
But we're just talking about literacy rates.
But what I'm saying is we're talking about the effect. He's talking about the effects of doing
that on reading. I thought that he was talking about like
No,
on
taking time out of the class to be dancing and stuff.
but I imagine like the end statement that you're saying is that that's bringing down literacy rates, correct?
I do think that affects the scores of everything, not just literacy. I think
Right,
that affects
and
education,
to
period.
prove that you could just
How
go
can
back
you
10
be
But you
years.
can't go back if the product didn't exist then.
No, you can look at
If
current
he's blaming-
literacy rates and
He's just
what
talking
the
about
scores
overall-
are.
he's talking about overall
and
it
then
hasn't
you can
hurt.
look at scores over years. And if the introduction of the thing drove down scores,
Right.
that would tell you that that thing is impacting it.
So what you're saying is that the increase along the decades has been consistently up, even when you
That's
look
what
at
every.
But hold on, listen.
Yeah,
Even when you go year to year, so you're saying it's not doing this, it's just doing
I
that.
looked up. I looked at over time and
And see,
decades.
but that's
So I
what I'm
can't-
saying.
I
That
can't
could
say-
be that right there. Could be
but on a
different.
graph, and of course, I'm sure that it does this, right?
Right.
But the general trend is going upward.
I understand. And so what I'm saying is that to really see the impacts of TikTok, you would either go year to year or you're gonna have to wait to a decade after its existence to see.
Well, you wouldn't
what its
necessarily
actual-
have to do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could see in comparison to the past, because that's what we're looking at it on.
Even if it drops, it could still be higher than the past. Even if it drops
No, and
from year to year.
I understand. Okay, never mind. All right, I understand. But listen, I don't really give. That was you and Tone's box to.
It may have been hopped in that
muscle over.
box.
No, that wasn't no, bro. What it is?
It's a
we're-
joke.
We're misunderstanding each other.
Oh no, I understood what you're saying, but I don't think
joke.
We got a good amount of comments on this.
No
so let's-
boxes.
Okay.
Nothing is wrong with that video. I agree, ADOS. Nothing's wrong with that video. I did say that. Nothing's wrong with that video. This educational system has dumbed down our children.
And what you saying that that's not true?
Well, how are you measuring dumb down? So maybe that's true. Maybe
I would
it's not.
assume dumb down would have to
But
do
like
with
if
the
we're talking
scores.
literacy rates, that's what I just looked up. I just looked up literacy rates. And if we're looking at what they're
It's not
scoring
true based on literacy rates.
Yeah. So like if you're talking about like comprehension of like advanced topics and shit, I don't know.
All right.
Maybe it has or maybe it hasn't. I haven't looked that up. I can just go by like what I just looked up.
They are not in military school. I feel that teachers have to reach children where they are, and if it's helping to learn, then why not do it?
I agree.
Yeah, that's why I said you got to look at the scores
I
on the back
concur.
end of it. If they doing great in the school, then and they did the TikTok dance, who gives a shit? Do another one. You know what I mean?
That
I'm
ain't
with
been
that.
what the teachers been saying though, from what I've been seeing.
Well, I mean,
Well, I don't know of a time where Title I teachers haven't been complaining about like the kids that they're getting.
Bro, but they saying that these kids though, okay. Immigrants who come from illiteracy are being put in Negro schools. It brings the numbers down.
ESL, that's what
I
I
did hear
said.
something about that earlier. Somebody told me something about that earlier. Like
Big Johnny.
It was me.
Oh yeah. Oh bro, and then shit. I remember when I was going to Garinger, bro. When I was going to Garinger, this was in 2000. It would have had been 2000, maybe like 6. Yeah, like 2006, bro. They literally their immigrant population in there was just like crazy, and and so I say that to say that I would say that it definitely brought down the scores for the school, which then that does lower the funding as well, based on what you were saying.
Well, yeah, and Garinger is also in a poor community, so like they're a Title I school.
They was Garinger was the school I was supposed to. I forgot what the title was, but they had a specific title.
One.
Like they was like, I went to Eastway, and Eastway, like Garinger was the high school.
Yeah, fed into it. Yeah.
So like it was an immigration. They was immigration schools specifically meant for people to come to.
Oh yeah.
Because I remember they had like
I forgot the
specific
title they had.
Spanish math class. You know what I mean? They actually created the Spanish math class for them.
Makes sense.
Spanish, so like all of.
So they're probably their reading scores are probably low as shit compared to other schools. If you got a bunch of people that came in,
yeah,
when they first
but that's why,
implemented it,
like,
for sure.
even like having the conversation, that's why I said you also have to look at what the scores was traditionally at that school as well. Because of if you're looking at a school that traditionally does have like a low reading score in general, making a jump could be a jump that's still below literacy, like the average literacy rate in general.
Mhm.
Like I've worked at enough schools where like the push was, hey, we need this percentage of everybody passing their their literacy exams and testing and EOGs. But as well, the reality of the whole thing was that they're trying to just get better, like get higher than what they were. And a lot of it ends up coming down to like you got to be at a specific space, or the state's going to come take over your school. But yeah.
All right. Parents are the first teacher.
Facts.
Homeschooling is an option. There should be a respectful bond. Please homeschool.
Agree. I 100% agree with that homeschool shit. I understand why most people aren't able to do it, but that's what I'm trying to do. Honestly, if that's better than what I've seen. That motherfucking pre-K is, from what I've seen, trash. My daughter, we went into this pre-K, bro. And y'all can say what y'all want. It's an all black pre-K. So all of the teachers black. Every kid in there is black. The director is a white lady, but the owner is a black lady. Bro, it's off WT Harris. So like I assume she did her research. She had like 4.9s rating and all this shit. Bro, I'm going in that motherfucker. When I went and picked her up Friday, it's 2:30, bro. I seen 75 bonnets at 2:30 on a Friday.
What they got to do with the school?
What I'm saying is look at this. Okay, so if at 2:30 in the afternoon you coming from work or something, or where are you coming from?
They could be in traditional families.
That's what the fucking answer is. All right, Johnny. All right, Johnny. Everybody in that motherfucker work don't have to work. That's what you coming up with. That's what you coming up with. I see 75 bonnets and 18 Nissan
windmill.
I'm just playing. Let me chill out before I got to go too far.
Fuck this ass up.
Stop. I work with children. I definitely build relationships. I'm not doing all that. Grown-ups play too much with the children.
Agreed.
My sister taught me how to read before I went to school. She's a year older than me, so she came home teaching me everything she learned at school.
That's fire. I'm counting on Nana to teach Noah too. That's one of those things. They say that the second one end up smarter because he learning this shit earlier and all that. So I'm definitely banking on that.
At ADOS, I agree. Homeschool is a way that parents can prepare for the public school. Q, but you don't know how long it took either.
About what?
Talking about
the dance together.
Dance.
But I wasn't saying any specific numbers,
bro.
Yeah.
You ain't got to risk that conversation.
Hey, just blow through them. Just blow through them.
I can respond to what I want.
It could be
I didn't give a time. Yeah, I didn't give a time.
It could be an after-school activity. Q, I just text you education stats.
Oh, do you want me to read them? I can't read them.
Let's read these comments first.
Okay.
Music and movement is incorporated in learning. Music is just one of the many intelligence. Please educate yourself. You sound old and grumpy.
Real.
I'll take it.
Tone.
That was Tone.
Oh yeah, my bad. My bad, real.
But I'm like, everybody was down old and grumpy when I was growing up, ended up being the wise people. So I'll be that person. People they were saying sounded old and grumpy in the 90s end up being the people who right now that we sitting there like, damn, I wish I would have did what they did. So I'm keep being that.
Hey, are we normalizing dysfunction?
Low function.
Not in this, no. The literacy rate's still going up.
Learning is the key factor. Hip Hop Harry, Barney music class, music and movement.
I agree with that actually by a lot.
As far as
there's like mad when there's like 3 or 4 different learning styles. I can't remember them all off the top of my head. But there are specific things within each one of those learning styles. And truthfully, like the more you research, you start finding out why like you were a very specific learner inside of different ways. But explicitly with boys in itself, like movement and learning is big. And it helps a lot, especially with younger age kids.
So I do want to clarify. I love music. I do believe that you can be educated in other ways. But what I'm saying is there's a lot more time being put in dancing and doing rap songs on TikTok that ain't talking about nothing, ain't teaching nobody nothing. They just sit there and talking about how they gonna make A's and then don't.
We got ties.
Bonus.
We got ties back in the house grilling them up.
It could be. It could be a lot of different things.
Hey, it is.
But we just putting time on things that we haven't said with the time.
I'm just sitting there saying that there is a trend where there is a lot more teachers who are trying to get attention on TikTok, and I think it's interfering with some of the classrooms.
But we have to see how they structure their curriculum.
Hold up. This might not be every teacher. This might not be every classroom. This might not be every situation that's going on where the teacher and the students are interacting. But there are a lot of teachers who are interacting with these students, selfishly trying to get their gains up on TikTok. That's all.
That's fucking true. TikTok has a lot. There's a lot more TikToking with the school. A lot more social fucking videos and all of that. There's a lot more of that.
That makes sense because
to the detriment of the children. That's
but that's the part that
enough.
That's where you keep making it up at.
That's
enough for the TikTok.
The stats have not shown it's to the detriment.
But you're also like
literacy stats. These people don't know that.
But
I literally just watching a video of some students who just graduated high school or on a college campus, and the guy was going around asking them, "How many dimes does it take to make $3?" And the people 18, 6.
Oh no, they be with some dumbass fucking answers.
Okay.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
no, that's
and all right. So and just making sure you think that they can't count because of.
I think part
TikTok
of
video
and Tone, Tone, be fair. It's a lot of grown-ups who like was in school before the TikTok era. As you asked them,
bro, ask your friends right now to do math problems. They dumb as hell. Ask them how to conjugate a verb. It's dumb as hell.
Ask them who the 16th president was. Who was the 16th president?
Not my friend.
Real.
I don't give a fuck about
bro, we're gonna go out and do like we're gonna poll 30-year-olds and see how dumb niggas is.
Who's the second president?
Tone's mom.
Back to the comments, man. Most children who don't learn and don't have a learning disability are either lazy or no one around them makes them think that it's important to become educated.
Okay.
Problem posing education, I think, would be a better method. Kwahu, if you don't mind explaining that, I do want to hear what that is. We don't know because he later said, "Does anyone even know what problem posing education is?" Nope. We don't know. So could you explain
problem posing?
I got a feeling, but I don't want to just make an assumption. So could you explain that to us? Let's see. Where was we at? He thought he was being ignored. You're not being ignored. We just reading the comments now. Heart desires. Where is the stats from? We'll go back over the stats too. No one is saying you can't have fun with the children. It just can't be more play than learning.
Right. I agree with that as well.
Some children can learn through play. Where's Q stats from it, Sharon? LOL. Mine are posted on Facebook.
What Negro school?
Negro school. What the heck? Geringer was a feeder school. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called, but I knew it was a title. Title I schools get more funding, oftentimes are not spent how they should. They took cursive and phonics out. Parents must stay connected with the school board.
Yeah, that cursive was just in the way.
Cursive, phonics. They should have kept phonics.
Yeah, that cursive was just
cursive was
for what, bro?
We got keyboards now, so we don't need cursive.
No, but you still need math, and you got calculator.
Phonics has nothing to do with math.
Yeah, we gonna finish running through these comments.
Finance has a lot to do with math. Learning
phonics.
Hey fellas, let them.
Y'all
my bad. Go ahead.
Rock Hill School built an elementary school that just speaks Spanish all day long and try to say that it's for other students to learn Spanish.
Turned up.
Read I don't know how to say that. Pedagogy or
that's
pedagogy of the oppressed to answer your question of are we products of propaganda? Only reason I'm here with this info.
Turn me up. I like that.
He's talking about standardized testing. When homeschooling minds, they taught each other. I agree with Ms. Sharon. Young children learn through play. It builds social emotional skills. Facts. Hip Hop Harry has a "They Not Like Us" song. Google it. Yeah, I seen that.
Biggest the what?
Oh, we ain't
That's
even
my
hitting that.
joint. Be brave. That's my joint.
If they are learning, then yes, I perform, learn, and play with the students. Once again, saying I'm not against that. What I'm saying is a lot. Yeah, I didn't say what I was saying plenty of times.
Bro said I said what I said.
Am I being ignored for my thinking about pedagogy of the oppressed? And that's what I was saying.
Just a lot of comments, bro.
Volunteer. Problem posing education was exampled in the TV show Ghost on Showtime. I don't know that show either. I'll look it up. So how will they read the actual founding documents of the USA? Maybe they don't want them to on purpose.
Not
having phonics is a great loss. If you do not know how to write cursive, that means you do not have a proper signature. Think about it. The handwriting of these children is atrocious, and they never will have a proper signature.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
When the last time you signed
they
your
type
real
it anyway,
But when the last time you signed your real signature? Motherfucker got them.
I signed
some
my
shit.
When
the last time you actually wrote that motherfucker out, though?
Like the reality is that
it's
from every generation, and this is where I got my signature.
I don't even know how to do a capital
I seen how older people was doing this. They
can
do like this, and then they go like this.
Oh yeah.
And then they go like that, and then they do something. It's just like make sure that you do the first letter.
Yeah.
So
wiggle a little bit.
The second letter.
And then do that the last name, and then get up out of there.
I guess I'm old now because that's why I ain't got time to sign my whole name. I used to sign my whole
I used to sign my whole name too.
Bro, the old folk used to do the same exact thing.
My signature look good as hell. The J look fine, and then I got a little N, and then don't let me do a Jonathan E. Newton. The ego crazy.
I like that. I don't regret learning cursive. I'm glad I was able to learn it. So
I think it was fun.
I don't see what did it benefit.
It's no actual.
Well, I mean, most of the shit they teach.
Hey, did y'all ever get that punishment where you had to write in cursive on the board like 100 times?
No, that was that Bart Simpson shit, the Simpson shit.
No, I had to do that shit.
Hey, I say child support checks have to be signed with real ink pens.
Hey, I must swear I hope I ain't never got to worry about that.
If you do not know how to write cursive, that means you do not have a proper signature. Think about it. The handwriting of these children. Oh, I read that. And yes, I know they can translate them, but being able to actually read the Bill of Rights or Constitution in original form should be important.
Well, we not finna cap for cursive,
they
bro.
took our job.
I think
they were talking about the Spanish.
So you don't like being able to write that J the way you was just sitting there explaining Johnny. You don't like being able to sign your signature the way you can.
I like cursive for signatures. That's it. Like I'm not trying to read in cursive.
But
I'm not trying to write in cursive.
Your signature though, right?
If I didn't have to sign it again, I'd stop. Like it ain't that big of a deal. Like I can
print the shit out that motherfucker.
I can print the shit out.
I can e-sign that motherfucker real quick. E-sign cursive look just as good. You seen e-sign? They got that good cursive on there.
I like you got a lot of verification with that, but yeah. All right, that's all the comments. We on to the next topic.
We appreciate y'all joining the conversation.
Yeah, I guess this is our first topic.
Don't go. Who gonna be out?
Get him out of there.
Damn, I thought y'all niggas gonna switch up. Go with the Rock.
Damn, I was gonna go with the Rock too, but I thought he was gonna go Rock.
The Rock is in the building.
I thought he was gonna go Rock.
This man flexing like LeBron with it. He talking about.
As long as you know you lost, you the first.
Damn, Johnny, I wasn't the first one. Johnny, when's the last time you won one?
Last episode.
Hey, fellas, what was your question again?
Policy of character. What's the most important when voting?
Okay. All right, so we're gonna go. Rails was kind of the title of the video, so we'll start with that, and then I'm gonna go with mine.
What was mine again, bro? Mine was.
Is it healthy to
be judged
to bully people or something like that?
Is it healthy to not have empathy with your peers?
No, so like, okay, so I was watching the Kurt Franklin interview, right? With Club Shay Shay, and then he said something about being judged that I'm the same type of way. So I asked a question that I give, where I stand on. Well, I asked the question first, like you said, do you think, we in a culture where it's like, don't judge me, and I think that it's a joke thing, but then it's actually a literal thing as well, where we feel as though everything is the right answer and everything should be acceptable, and we should, you shouldn't judge. And I was thinking, like, at the end of the day, there was a time period where I said, like, I don't care what people think, right? And I think that we all go through a time period where we were like, yeah, I don't care what nobody think about me, and that's that wanting to not be judged idea. At the end of the day, I find that it's actually, for me, is actually very healthy. I do want to know what you think about me, because there are some things that I need to change about myself, and really, that's what growth is. Acknowledging the things that need to be changed in the way that sometimes you need for somebody to tell you that. So my question is, do you think that it, like, should we judge each other? I mean, fairly judge, of course, not OD with it, like why everybody left the Christian church. You know what I mean? They felt like they were being judged, but weren't able to get the time to change it. Or everybody would always treat you like the things they judged you for, even if you did change afterwards. So I guess I'm gonna leave it there. Like, do you think that it is fair, or it is good for a fair being judged fairly? Not like the whole. Go ahead, Johnny. You've been shaking your head the whole fucking time. Go ahead, bro.
That boy made it right in the nick of time, boy. Look at him. But I mean, I think there's a healthy level of shame that people should have,
which is through judgment, right?
But I think you gotta be careful when you're validating or valuing the judgments of others, because a lot of times people only judge you based on their own perceptions and their own reality.
So do you think that you stopped smoking cigarettes, was it people's judgment?
Absolutely not.
It was your
it's because I've got tired of smoking cigarettes.
So it was your judgment of yourself?
Yes, but it wasn't because I feel like sometimes, like, stigmatism, when you stigmatize people, not a stigmatism, but like when you stigmatize people, it does the opposite effect. Like, and they even say that when, like, I was listening to an article, or it was a radio commercial, and they were talking about, like, addiction. And when you talk about addiction, like it's a problem, like it's you talk about it like it's a thing versus a sickness, or you talk about the person like they're an addict versus addiction being a sickness. That stigmatization actually lowers the level of people wanting to get clean. And so sometimes judgment does the opposite effect. Even with, like, when I was talking about the Cam Newton and Nick Cannon thing, where it's like how you say things. Sometimes if you ostracize somebody or make them feel like they're an addict versus addiction being an issue, like, that judgment will cause people to do the opposite reaction. It's not a healthy thing.
So it sounds like you're not actually disagreeing with the question. You're just talking about the approach of the judgment.
Well, no, I'm saying, wouldn't that the
judgment would be the
judgment issue is the approach. That's what I'm not agreeing with. The judgment is the approach. If you have a judgmental approach, like, you can want the best for somebody, but if I come to you like I'm a judgment, like, bro, you're an addict and people don't like addicts and you should really get up so people will like you, versus, hey, bro, I've noticed you've been going through something. I really care for you. I want you to be better for your own good. Those are two different ways to have that conversation. You ultimately want the same goal, but if I come to you like, bro, you're an addict and you should really get cleaned up because nobody likes an addict, that will probably be more harmful versus me saying, bro, I love you and I don't want to see you like that and I want to see you be the best version of you. That's a more effective way of communicating the thing.
And you know something that I'm actually realizing about myself through this quick conversation? I actually am motivated by what everybody would cry about. The shit that niggas be crying about actually motivates me. So, like, when my dad telling me, nigga, you ain't gonna do shit, you ain't going to the military, that motivated me. Playing the drums, niggas like, no, you trash, nigga, you trash, that shit trash, you buns. Okay, that motivated me, and then I became one of the best niggas, you know what I mean, at that time period that was around. And niggas, like, for me, it's a lot of that soft ass talk. That shit does not work with me. And I think that's where my disconnect is with what you're saying. Because that to me, that soft that shit does not work with me. And so I disconnect completely from that shit. It's like it's always for me, it's always been a nigga talking shit that make like not saying that dressing was a thing that like make me better, but like I had a girl when I was in the 8th grade, she told me, like, yeah, you cute and all, but the reason why we don't really be messing with you like that is because you don't dress good enough. And of course, I wasn't buying my own clothes, but with that dead, so I was like, okay, I internalized, okay, well, I'm gonna have to change this shit. You know what I mean? It didn't like crush my feelings to where I went through a depression and all this, like all that. I think that like that shit be sounding, and I guess it's just for me that shit doesn't work well. You say, oh, you did a great job, and
I'm just saying, just historically for the average person, it doesn't work.
Okay, I was just saying that's what my disconnect is with it, and that's why even when I word questions the way I do, I feel like that soft approach it just doesn't work for me. So that's why it just clicked in my head. The reason why I disconnect as soon as you start talking about all that, if you do is as soon as you start talking, like, bro, get the fuck out of here. But it's just that I disconnect from that approach.
Well, I know if never mind.
Go ahead.
Well, nah, but you're different though. Like if I had to approach you with something, I probably wouldn't use a softer.
Yeah, just tell you fucking up. You hear how I talk, and that's probably why I come off like I do.
But I wouldn't use that approach with most people though. Because
I
only specific people, I'd probably be like uncomfortable enough to even say. But for the average person, I'm probably hit them with a little softer approach first. Then if that didn't work, then even come in with a little harder one. But I try to lead with love always.
And that's something else I'll be honest and vulnerable about too. That was something that I had to learn in my relationship because I've always been the way people talk to me, what the things that motivated me were always done in what people consider like a negative way. I didn't know how to coach someone or like to breathe, to speak like what do you want to say? Damn, not necessarily speak life, but to speak confidence into people. You know what I mean? Because the confidence that I had to build, my confidence came after being able to do the thing. It wasn't like, oh, you can do it, you can do it. Like I didn't have that growing up, so I just kind of disconnect from it. But I had to learn, and I'm still learning better with my wife because she actually needs it the other way, the softer way. And so like over time, I've been getting a little better with that. But as far as it relates to me, it's just that shit. It just hasn't worked. But I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
Gotcha. I guess so. The question is being judged like good? Is that the general
healthy
question?
or good or healthy? I think you wrote it.
So I guess one I would say like judgment thing. I think what's the overall outcome that you're looking for? To be honest, I think most niggas judge people off of like the human need for hierarchy and feel like they're better than other people. And there's a space where like niggas want to be 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade bullies. And whether they was able to be that or wasn't able to be XYZ. But like if you look at statistically what actually makes sense, literally like judging isn't necessarily the most productive thing. But that also doesn't mean enabling, because I think that you can kind of like
very true.
misconstrue the two things where it's like, if I'm not doing this, then I'm doing that. In which I don't think that shitting on somebody or like quote unquote judging them is the plan of action. And that ends up being why you have school shooters. That ends up being why you have like addiction problems and things like that. These are all like things that kind of like linearly move together to an extent. And I think that as we get older, there's still like this innate part where it's fun to be that quote unquote bully. And niggas, to an extent, that's what I see. There's a lot of online interactions, and that's where even like the concept of trolling and all that shit comes from, is people want to anonymously make themselves feel better by putting down other people. And the reality is that like trolling doesn't have any good outcome. I don't think judgment has any real outcome. I think having like real human conversations with somebody, like if somebody's overweight, saying yo fat ass ain't really going to necessarily do it as much as talking to them about how this is going to shorten their lifespan, how this like the actual health implications and different shit like that.
We don't judge people you love. Like if I had a cousin that was up there,
well, you could judge people you love.
But I mean, but like
I don't think that it's a health, like you're gonna get a healthy result from it.
But
You'll probably make yourself feel good about it though.
But it's not gonna help them. And if your goal is to help them, it's not gonna work, because like I could see somebody that I don't know and will probably be able to have a more fair, adjustment than somebody I love, because like the person I love, I'm gonna have empathy for. I'm gonna try to understand. I'm gonna have he's been through X, Y, Z. That's why he deserves this chance again. That's why he deserves to still be loved. That's why he deserves, because I know this guy. I done seen him. I seen him before he went through this tough time. I'm seeing him at his lowest. I seen him at his highest. But I know who that is. So I'm gonna always give him another chance, just because that's the guy, the person, the girl. That's just who I know. And like judgment is like, I can look at somebody that I don't know and judge them because I don't know. It's easy to like look at somebody and not care about how they got there and just look at where they are and be like, yeah, you're a piece of shit because you're here. But if I know somebody, I'm never just gonna look at you where you at. I'm gonna look at the whole story and be like, damn, it was a roller coaster, and this wasn't just a linear line to this point. This was this was highs and lows. It was a whole bunch of shit that ended up in you getting to this point, and I'm gonna bring all of that into consideration before I have an opinion on it.
And I think that I probably used the wrong word. And I'm my bad. I'm gonna be short. I got you, Tone. I think I may have just used the wrong word. I think I may have used the wrong word. But what I wanted to say, like with the way y'all talking about it, is like not a fair judgment. You know what I mean? You're talking about like a humanized. You're not gonna just. You want to have a humanized understanding. Of course, you're not gonna just make a. Like you talking about, you know the person, so you humanize them as they're a felon, but I humanize them because I know who they are. You give them fair judgment versus giving someone an unfair judgment just based on the fact that you don't know them. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say it in that way. Because I mean, the word judge is defined as to expressing a bad opinion of someone's behavior, often because you think you're better than them. And so now that I read that definition, I'm like, that's definitely not what I'm talking about from a point to where it's like, that's what people think of like the church folk. That's why people stop going around the church folk, because you think they think that they make you feel like you better than them,
holier than thou.
Right. And then now I'm not seeing you with that pack of cigarettes. You know what I mean? You may not be doing the same thing I'm doing, but you're doing something else, and you're not. You're not cigarettes are sinful, huh?
Yeah, real. I seen you with that pack of cigarettes.
I don't give a fuck. I got it right over there. I'm gonna spark one after this.
Bro, don't let God hear you say that.
Whatever you talking about, bro.
Tis.
You said cigarettes were sinful and you don't give a fuck.
I didn't say cigarettes were sinful.
That was the question I just asked, and then you said that.
I just said I don't give a fuck as soon as you said that.
Oh, okay, all right.
Well, I mean, anything that you do to the temple. Nigga, I just gave you a cigarette last Sunday. What are you shaking your head for?
You said judging help you.
It's a different word for Johnny. It begins with a H and end with crit.
Big crit.
But yeah, like even with that definition, I believe that I gave a bad or the natural interpretation of the word. It has such a negative connotation. But like I said, I was really talking about fair judgment, because the idea is like when and I kept thinking about like the don't judge me. How we just how women, we don't really say that shit. It's more of a women thing where they say like they do something that they feel that they shouldn't do, or sometimes it'll be some shit that they know that they shouldn't do, and then say that like the don't judge me. And I think that we have a culture at this point of just accepting everything. And so I feel like the judgment is if you know that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing, the fact that you got to say don't judge me is like.
You didn't judge yourself.
Exactly. So like I think that no, judge you, motherfucker. So maybe you start doing something different. We're at a point where we need judgment, because we're just getting to everything's okay. Everybody, you can do whatever you want to do, and then all the thing we got to do, get a therapist. Do all of this instead of don't go. They don't talk about getting better with God and none of that shit. Oh, therapy's the answer.
Yeah.
Therapy's not good, I guess.
That's not what I said.
Okay, all right. So, okay, all right. That's his own different little
okay, so there was a comment here that I actually agree with. They said judge and love, and the way I see it is that we all naturally judge. We all judge, whether people want to sit there and admit it or not, or talk about it. we all judge, and we judge based off the measure of what we think about ourselves. Like literally, I think that's where it all comes from. So when people is like saying, like, the reason I say judge and love is you have to check yourself and see if your judgment is coming in love, because you're judging like the people who you hang around and everything. You're judging whether you want to be around them or not. You're judging whether you want to let certain people in your life. You're judging who stays away. You're making decisions on them things. So those are judgments. You are judging.
Right. So let me ask you this. What does the action of judgment look like to you?
Okay.
I'm saying
action. You talking about like an actual action? I don't think it's
because what y'all are like the concept of what you're talking about
I see what you're saying.
is an
word.
action.
The action word. Yeah.
Okay, so for example, there's a very important person in my life who I choose not to hang around as much because there are certain things. I've told y'all about this already. There are things that he does that I think it infringes upon the things that I'm trying to do with my life. So I have to make a healthy judgment to not be around him in as much of the situations as I would necessarily like to be because of the stuff that he does. Because I feel that could interfere with me.
But are you saying?
But you're not judging him as a person.
Speaking to him and saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no, I get that. So like, yes, so I guess we can start a baseline. The baseline is that I agree that we all have like judgments of other people, and that's how we operate. Like if we're just using the word judge inside like a very, you know what I mean, like
discernment. That's what the Bible says.
I guess we'll just say like soft, loose way, broad way. There we go. But then there is, and what the question to me seemed like it denotes is the action of judgment and like speaking to them and how you say that thing. And usually that action is what like we like people usually are talking about when they're saying like judge whatever. So what I'm asking now to both of y'all, I guess, would be, what does the action of judgment? Because the scenario you gave, there wasn't an action of judgment. It was more so the idea of pulling away because you had discernment to an extent.
But I mean, you're still judging on your character. I'm gonna remove myself away from
right. But
so
that's not beneficial to them though. Like,
but
so
you're not making the person feel judged.
I'm saying that the question is,
but you also can be making the person feel judged because they can also go with because I remove myself. You think you're better than me. That could be a thing.
Cool. All right. So in general, so we're not talking about like the actual action as much as like removing ourselves when we think of somebody less than.
No. So
I'm just trying to really understand.
There are multiple ways, like even how y'all was talking about, there are certain ways to say stuff to certain people. I think that's a loving judgment. Like if you know that this person is this type and you need to tell them something that you see and you tell them in the way that they like. If I was talking to Real, I would have to say it a certain way. If I'm talking to Johnny, I might have to say it a certain way.
Who would that be? All right, keep going.
Yeah, so if I'm talking to Johnny, I would have to say it a certain different way. So that's my whole thing. Like there is a certain, like judge and love, I think is a good statement because like I think that's where you're determining like kind of a righteous judgment. Like you're not just sitting there looking at the person like it's less than or anything like that, but you have to judge like based off of your life and where you're trying to go, the trajectory of your life. If you want certain people in there, if you don't. You have to judge certain situations if you should be there or not. That's really, I think, where judgment comes in at deciding whether you should be in the situation or not. It ain't necessarily about somebody else. They might be in a place and they might get there, and you can talk to them about that. But yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think that's kind of where I was like, of course not. That's why I mean a fair judgment. It's a humanized judgment. Of course, I'm not judging you based on the fact I think I'm better than you, because that has nothing to do. That's unproductive. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking more of it like, yeah, like I said, when Kurt Franklin was talking about it on there, he was talking about like if I'm dancing too much. Remember when he was on stage and he started doing all that little roll gyrating as they called it. Nigga was gyrating and they were saying like he was doing too much. And he like, yeah, I want you to tell me when I'm doing too much because I know I need to be better. So in order for you have to make the judgment first to say like, nigga, you doing too much. And then for you to tell me, I take that to me, that's productive. As long as you ain't like trying to do it from a place that dehumanizes me, then I'm 100% fine with it.
But I think having a critique on somebody and telling somebody like
that's a better word.
Criticism is totally different than judge. Because like you say, even in the definition, judgment denotes I'm better than type. Even if you don't tell them, even if you like just have a silent judgment on somebody, that's almost worse. Because you're not even trying to help them. You just like, I'm better than this person. I'm gonna just leave them alone and I'm gonna go live my life.
But that's like the judgment that niggas give to panhandlers.
But I'm saying that's selfish and that could be good for your mental health, but that's not better for that person.
So in court, is the judge saying he's better than you?
Yes, he has more authority than you.
No, but he's not better than you to give you the judgment. There's a consequence to what you. Well, I don't want to use the judge, but I think it's a good example of be like what Q said. Like he don't give money to like people outside that like be on the streets. Like when he said he don't do that. So do you think what your reasoning for doing that is? What is it that they need to get up off their ass and get to it? What is your reason for not giving the panhandle?
I wouldn't say get up off the ass. Maybe they brother for whites, but let me stop. But I would say it's more so like I don't know your circumstance, and I'm still figuring shit out myself. So I just value like what I'm doing in my situation to where like I'm not explicitly giving money to panhandle.
And that's a double thing because I feel the same way.
But I guess how did that go in?
What I'm asking is that I thought when you came with a different understanding because I've heard people say the same thing, and generally what they say is that like you need to go and it's like they're judging them and saying that.
Well, I think if they say that to that person, it's probably unproductive. But if you like, I guess are we talking about like the action of internal judgment or external judgment? Because of like that's what I'm saying. Like it seems like we're getting to a space where, from what I'm understanding of the conversation, like using judgment as broad and almost now as soft of an action as possible. Where to me, usually when I hear like even like I said, if I'm just going to what the question denotes, is judgment good for or is judgment healthy for people? Mm-hmm. It typically to me what that sounds like you're saying is the action of judging somebody and speaking to them about what they're doing in a very straightforward way. Same way when you interjected with Johnny and you said he was giving the vibes and all that shit, and you don't fuck with it because you like somebody to be really straight and direct with you. Mm-hmm. To me, like the idea of like I want you to tell me like your harshest judgment of me, and then I'm going to prove you wrong. That's what that sounded like to me. And go ahead.
Well, I wouldn't say like your harshest judgment. That's more of the extreme, but I want you to be direct and speak your truth where you don't have to fucking. You know what I mean?
My bad. I'll take away the word harshest and just say speak direct. The direct judgment to me.
Right.
That here we go. An unfiltered judgment of me.
Right.
And to me, like those are different things in comparison. Like I think that speaking an unfiltered judgment and refraining from saying something to somebody and just judging them in your head are two completely different things.
Yeah, because one of them is completely unproductive and the other one could be productive based on who it is that you're talking to and how you present it.
Maybe. I think both of those things kind of can interchange.
How is that not why they're different? Explain. Well, why are they different, Johnny?
Well, because I think one is talking about like if you're not voicing the judgment, it's not really a judgment. It could be a discernment. Like I said earlier, like if I know I don't need like
trying to use a better word to say that. But trying to use a better word to say I don't fuck with what you're doing.
Because I could not fuck with what you're doing and remove myself from the situation because of my better judgment, but still not think I'm better than you. And it's just me removing myself from the situation. It don't mean I think. Like but if I go out and tell you, hey, you don't need to be doing that because you XYZ, that's an expression of me telling you that I'm almost me directly telling you I'm better than you and you need to get there. I think that's the two difference between an external judgment and an internal judgment. An internal judgment could be more productive, for me, for the person, but an external judgment is almost always going to be unproductive because it's getting met 9 times out of 10. You're a person that's a little different. It'll probably be productive with you, but most people it's going to be met with a resentment or no, you just feeling like you better than me. It's not going to be a productive thing for the most 9 times out of 10. Not everybody's the same. Some people will respond.
So let me ask you this: like, if somebody like when you was doing photography, if somebody was like, yeah, that shit ain't it. Does that make you? Even though it may make you offensive initially to hear it, but then does that make you want to do better? Like make you be okay. Well, maybe I need to start looking at.
It make me want to like. Okay, I want to change their mind, but it don't make me want to be a better photographer for say.
Well, I mean, in order to change their mind, you have to do something different, which could quote unquote be better.
Not necessarily. You could just do one thing one time to change their mind, or you could just change their perception. You don't have to actually be better. You could just do something to change their perception. and then you're not even a better photographer. You just did something.
You just convinced them through
you
words.
just convinced them that you're better, and now you're satisfied because their judgment has changed. Now, if somebody comes to me and be with constructive criticism and love and be like, hey, look, I noticed you're trying to get better, you're doing XYZ, maybe you could do this and this would help you out a little bit. I'm going to be way more receptive to that and actually focus in on that one criticism and try to make that better than versus somebody just out the blue just judging me and telling me I suck at pictures. You know, that specific constructive criticism is going to help a whole lot for me personally versus just somebody like hating.
I'm with it.
Versus somebody like just hating. So that's like, to me, that's my only thing about where about like, you know, the constructive criticism or like
or a judgment.
Yeah, it's just
I mean,
one of them's gonna be way more helpful than the other one. I'm just be like, fuck it, I don't really care about what you think anyway. You're probably an idiot. I'm a then have my
usually
own
to me, judgment does come, like I said, from the human hierarchy of wanting to feel like you're better than a person, and that judgment is usually expressing like a selfish like feeling to be able to feel better. Usually, like when and that's what I'm saying, like when we're having this conversation, there is a space where if we broaden it and blend the words and terms so much that like we can have a kumbaya and like say, yeah, it's but like if we're speaking about like what, like that's why I want to make sure we're defining the action of what we're actually talking about. Because like I said, I imagine the action is like, I hear this often inside like the conversation is like let's bring back fat shaming, right? And like that version of like judgment because of like I don't want them to think that it's okay and da. The reality to me when I think about that concept in itself is that you fat shaming and calling somebody fat and like yo overweight ass, your big ass, big back, and I actually enjoyed doing big back activity, jokes. But
bare built,
but like really it's a good joke for me to get off and it makes me feel good about myself, but it's not like
does it though, or is it just funny?
It again does. like the laugh.
So you feel good about calling somebody fat? It makes you feel good about yourself.
Well, like you're typically, like it's a hierarchy because like you're saying yo fat ass and I'm not fat.
Yeah,
so
but
that's a place of judgment.
Even if look, okay, so
like it's
I
not
know,
like you're probably about to take it to like a space of like hyper intentionality.
I think that's bullying.
But if you're skinny and you call somebody fat, it makes you feel good because you're not fat.
Well, but the insult comes from a place of being the outer group and they're inside the inner group. Or you can reverse the terminology.
Yeah.
Like it's not even like explicitly a conscious decision, but that's what the root of it all is. But
so you said, okay, go ahead. It's not. No need to get into the
like.
Go ahead.
In like typically an insult of somebody is saying that you're this and I'm not that. That's like the very basis of like an insult usually.
Like you niggas got Androids and we got iPhones.
Right. It's you like that's what it's an in-group out. That just is what it is.
But my thing is like I honestly like don't. When I make a joke, it's not. It doesn't make me feel unless I get like laughs. Like that's funny. It's not like I can understand like if somebody's being a bully, then maybe they're doing it out of some kind of will that makes them feel better to be able to overpower. I don't know what the fuck, but like if I'm sitting here and I'm talking about those those fucking cheetah socks you got on,
leopard,
whatever the fuck.
And your thing would be that you would never wear them shits.
Yeah, but it doesn't make me feel better though.
It's like you're talking about something he's doing a faux pas that you would never do.
I didn't even say I would
that's
never
that's
do
the
it.
concept of the joke.
Yeah, you feel better with your all white.
Right?
No.
If we get into like a super, that's the concept of like, and we ain't got to go into like joke like theology and shit. But
you right, my bad.
You can go to the comment. I guess we didn't kind of. How long this is? What we at now? Time wise.
If y'all want to get another topic, we need to go ahead.
Oh
no! We'll do the call in, ain't it?
This is a great topic.
I think I put the call in.
This is a great topic.
Yeah, I don't feel like it makes sense to even try and get another topic inside 13 minutes.
Okay.
Oh hell no!
This was the title topic too, so it works.
Yeah,
I think we actually went over about everything anyway, besides products of propaganda.
I think that was the. Oh yeah, it is.
Oh no, yeah, I was saying no, we ain't do that. But I can run it while we ain't got shit going on. A little bit. So this is it's a two-part thing. So if y'all are familiar with Tim Pool, he's a really popular streamer. And he more recently, well, I guess over this past week, him and his whole channel have been under the fire because of they have been sponsored by Russian state, whatever. I don't know what the in word that I would use right there, but matter of fact, they've been sponsored by the Russian state. I think it's like 100,000 per episode, pretty much that they breaking down.
What up, Putin?
And he is a very popular political streamer here in the United States, in which that in itself denotes the idea that like there's but anything that he's going to say wrong about Russia. And so like he's had arguments, he will bring in other people. He's consistently pushing against like the other side. But the idea that this is a sponsored perspective from somebody who's supposed to be independent media, and it is adjacent, if not direct propaganda, I think that is interesting. But then I also think that the more that I have like different conversations, and like an example would have been like the immigration conversation that we had on Unpack. You're just at mass regurgitating talking points and propaganda, but don't even understand like why situations are what they are, what leads those situations to be that, and what actually can be done about it. Like there's a spot where whatever our feed is, whatever our algorithm is, and whatever our news source is, we're just regurgitating the propaganda of what it is. And it's rare that we can articulate the who, what, when, where, why, and explain that out cogently. And it got me just thinking the fact that, damn, we like to like think of propaganda inside like the quote unquote Hitler version of it and shit like that. But to an extent, it feels like a lot of us, in our opinions, are the product of propaganda.
I believe we are. And it goes right back to, we just spent an hour talking about education, but I think this is a joke. This is a joke. I couldn't even be serious. You know what I'm about to say, but it's because the teachers spend too much time on TikTok and not teaching critical thinking skills that we are products of propaganda. But in all seriousness, I think it is our lack of critical thinking skills that makes us products of propaganda. Because, like Red said, we're just like regurgitating and recycling talking points without actually thinking about them, without actually researching them, sourcing them, and then coming up with our own opinions based on the information that we receive. We are products of propaganda because we're whatever they say, if we take it at face value, if we take the propaganda at face value and then regurgitate it and get in our feelings and our emotions and start voting and start having in-depth conversations just based on these talking points that we ain't even researched, then yes.
Right, but I think you tried to kick it down kick it down the road a little bit, and say like put it on TikTok or in what any of those.
That part was a joke.
But no, I get it.
Just
but
specifically, we
I don't think that like right now
skills.
We're specifically less critically thinking than other generations. Maybe I think we might look well. Not which it's just deeper conspiracy propaganda, but I think that in the past,
our generation has the one tool to where we should not be values of propaganda. We have
I think internet. I think it leads you to be more because that's what ends up happening is that you get a algorithm that leads you down a trail, and then everything that agrees.
The internet bad though. That's on us. Like because we like literally the thing that stopped us.
Hold on,
back in the day. The thing that stopped us was access to information. Now that we have the access
Johnny,
to information,
like let's be real.
We should
do you participate in sourcing all your information? Do you participate in making sure that everything that you talk about, like you have researched, or do you also regurgitate talking points?
I regurgitate talking points too. I would.
Right, but that's my point. So
that means I am a product of propaganda too. I'm not like I'm not taking myself away from it either, but it is what it is.
Right. I guess the point that you was making would denote that like you should be a little different. But I guess my point is that like I'm not even making this like specifically a right now thing. I think that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, they were like hyper mass propagandized as well. And it was probably easier because of you just needed the TV. Right now, we probably get inside like worser wormholes because of your propaganda can be specific to you.
You know, they even do it on the game system now. They got it like for a personalized experience where you can play Call of Duty,
not a
and they don't
box,
put
Tony.
people in your lobby
It's
that's
not a
too
box.
hard for you to play or too easy for you to play. They base your experience based on how good you play. So it's not actually making you any better. It allows you to just enjoy your fucking game. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. The idea of the algorithm, the creation of the algorithm, is to allow you to have your own observation of what the world or opinion on what the world observation of what the world actually is. And so like just because anything that you say, anything that you believe, like we was talking about yesterday, he said he found somewhere on Facebook where you can Facebook will identify to you who you are.
Yeah.
And so in it doing that, it's only thing it's allowing you to see is things that double down and will continue to validate who you've become based on your experience inside of the app.
But let me ask you this: with our knowledge of how the algorithm works and what this thing does and how it propagandizes to us, don't we have the tool, or shouldn't we have the ability to no longer
have to be able to turn the propaganda off,
like fall into
Right.
it?
You can't turn it off.
So Johnny, do you
But
have the
Tone been
ability to
sitting
do
over there
that?
for a
Oh
minute.
yeah, my
Keep
bad. Tone, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I don't understand how y'all can be defending propaganda now, and then like the conversation we had earlier about music, you didn't like it wasn't a thing. Like y'all, like it's the same concept we was just talking about earlier. But I'm just gonna play I wanted to play a video.
I don't even see how like that's closely related.
Hey, I just
I don't think that I was. That's what I'm saying. Like my point was the fact that
it's related, like the propaganda. And
can you articulate my point with music?
Okay, so what I'm saying, we was talking about.
No, I'm just saying like what was my point with music?
In terms when we talk about music, if we're talking about propaganda in music, and you're talking like I was talking about stuff being repetitive and affecting the generations, that's propaganda.
Yeah, you remember that? I agree with that part, right?
I remember you saying it wasn't a thing. You was trying to go to a whole nother point from what I
remember. No, I made a separate point. You kept going back to the point that you said that I agreed with. That was never my point. My point was about the difference between hip hop and country music and the derogatory terms, and then how those things impact the cultures. That it was a very separate point. Your point was like the wholesale thing of the idea that propaganda and music in itself can impact people. I don't disagree.
Do y'all want to get to these comments before we close out the show?
We are gonna get to the comments, but I did want to play this real quick just to show that like this was just
we
an
ain't
example
gonna get to
of
the comments.
Yeah, we got about 4 minutes left.
This is a quick example of like some of the propaganda that we do see where this happened.
It was though someone plugged in a cable, a current was connected, and there was pure electricity in the room.
Thank you for sharing with us some of the electricity. The energy is incredibly electric.
You know, it was just electric.
Sort of electric, because I've never seen it. It was absolutely electric.
Talk to me about the atmosphere in here. Is it electric? Excitement. It is electric. Senator Schumer wasn't lying when he was saying that there's a lot of electricity and excitement right now.
So it's incredibly electric.
It's electric.
So this happens multiple times on the news cycles that like where they repeat these same phrases over and over again. So I do think that's just an obvious example that it's a propaganda thing. It's a propaganda tactic.
Yeah, in which I think that like that's on the totem pole. I think that's like a smaller influential thing that they're doing, because like joyous is another word that they do. Like CNN with Kamala Harris, they use the word joyful and joyous and joy a lot with her campaign. And you can tell that there is a memorandum that has been sent out about making sure you use intentionally that word. But I'll also say that in all fairness, the exact same thing happens on Fox News and like the right-leaning things. They just have their own. They have their own talking points.
Enough is enough, brother.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's an example of like the propaganda. Like whatever side you're on, you're being propagandized by by what you're viewing. If you're not aware that that's what's happening, I think you can get away from that when you're aware that this is occurring and you check your opinions.
I don't think you're going to get away from propaganda. Maybe not that thing, but
that's
another thing that you're being propagated to about that you're going.
It'd be mad facts that we be thinking are real that is just propaganda and clickbaited shit, or out of context videos and different shit like that.
Before we leave out, because they look like they was going in.
I think we got like 30 seconds. Well, maybe about 45 seconds left.
We got 80 seconds.
A lot of
show them your literacy scores, Tone.
Yeah,
you gotta go quick.
Them teachers wasn't doing TikTok when he was in school.
Come on.
Let me see. I gotta go back up here real quick.
That's too high, bro. You ain't gonna make it.
Let me read now. That's why having immigrants as buds is hard. It's always push and pull instead of encouraging people. You should have either watched the press conference or read the indictment. That did not say what you said. It wasn't even sponsoring him. This is really a bad take.
No, they talking to each other.
They was talking about what Q was saying. She was talking about something cute. I guess the initial topic.
Propagandized ass take.
The last topic.
The topic about what? That's at like 7:26.
Hey, we ain't going.
That dude that she was talking about. Tim Pool or something.
No, it's not. That's not a propagandized take. All right, we can get into it. So Tim
30
Pool,
seconds, bro. What you gonna get into it for? Just let us get some comments on.
I kicked my.
All right, so he about to push exit inside 2 comments anyway.
Yeah. I kicked my Jamaican ex-friend to the curb because she was voting for Harris. Was I wrong?
Hey, can I get this?
No. Hey, Tone, we can't go over 3 hours because it for the streaming. Hey, y'all,
me.
peace out.
Hey,
we appreciate y'all going to
us.
exit. Follow us, all that good shit.
That's it.
Yeah.